Welcome to Classroom Crush. Now listen to this song for a second, please.
Aunque se dice que me sobran enemigos.
Okay.
Todo el mundo me escucha, bien quedo cuando canto.
Okay.
Yo he preferido hablar de
cosas imposibles.
Porque de lo posible se sabe demasiado.
Okay, bitch.
He preferido el polvo.
You're thinking,
así,
wait.
Sencillamente.
Okay.
Pues la palabra amor aún me suena hueco.
You're saying, what is this? Sad Bad Bunny? No, bitch, it's Silvio Rodriguez. Okay, we have to talk about Cuba. Okay. Hi, welcome to Classroom Crush. I'm Rebecca, and if you didn't know, I am first-gen Cuban American, okay? Both my parents are from Cuba. Both my parents were born in Cuba. Shit is going down with Cuba. Now, if you're like, what? Why'd you have me listen to this song, Rebecca? First of all, I have great taste, and I'm always sharing that with you. Second of all, this is Silvio Rodriguez. You can kind of call him the Bob Dylan of Cuba. He's a kind of sort of like left, folk singer. I've talked about him before a long time ago. Ojalá. The song Ojalá. Oh my God, what a beautiful song. Now, this is the song Resumen de Noticias. Resumen de Noticias. And you know what he says in this song? He says first of all, he says he's got a lot of enemies, right? I have to get this exactly correct. Okay. Respect. He says, aunque se dice que me sobran enemigos, he's got enemies, all right? Todo el mundo me escucha, quedo cuando canto. The whole world is going to listen quiet and still when he sings, okay? And you know what he wants to sing about? Yo preferido hablar de cosas imposibles. He prefers to speak of impossible things, okay? Why? Porque de lo posible se sabe demasiado. Because of the possible, I know enough. Okay, let's get into it. Can we be dreaming of things that are deemed impossible today because I cannot continue living this way? My brain is already there, right? I've talked about this with many people. I'm already there, okay? I've abolished the fucking goddamn ass police, all right? And Israel is nothing but a memory. But we gotta literally start acting like it. Okay, Cuba's under attack. Okay, Cuba's under attack in very, it's just like, this is what we talk about with solidarity, right? They cut off access to resources to Gaza. It's the same fucking playbook. By the time this comes out, will probably come out in a week. Cuba's probably run out of fuel. Why? Because America has always been obsessed with Cuba because we and I'll say we and I'll fucking claim it today, okay? Because we did what others could not, did what we all wish we could, and we said no, motherfuckers, and we had a revolution. And no matter what the fuck you think about Cuba and Castro and the way everything unfolded, the revolution was and remains successful, okay? And America and Trump will never leave that alone. And when they done got Maduro, like it's not shocking where we are now. All that's to say, it's very interesting because recently, before this was announced, and I'll introduce you.
No worries.
Before this was announced, me and my mom were talking about how much I want to go to Cuba and how much she wants to go to Cuba. And we've recently discovered some frankly wild family history that I'll tell you about off mic because it's kind of crazy. And I'm still doing, literally I was like, I want to go and track some fucking records down and talk to some people and, dig into my history, my family history more. And now this shit's going down. I still want to do that. I'm literally out here okay, flotilla when? Okay? Flotilla 90 miles a lot. Listen, a little
Greta,
bit.
let's go.
Can we, hello, a little, they were doing flotillas to Gaza. That's a long ass, that's far away. That's far away,
It's
90
a short
miles.
little ride. It's a short ride for Cuba.
It really is. And I do, and listen, if you see me on a boat soon, you heard it here first. I'm like, I want to go. I don't care. Like, I want to go. I don't want to be another mouth to feed without bringing some, you know what I mean? That would be like the
bringing
problem.
resources.
Exactly. I would want to bring resources. I know that probably America would make that very hard.
Yeah.
But the timing of everything is just feeling really nuts because it's like Cuba been on my mind. And I'm glad for it to be, I guess. But the thing is, it barely is on the mind of America, I think. Like I told my mom, I said, you heard about this with Cuba? And she said, I've been working all week. No. What?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I feel like it's crazy, especially especially for a place that people are I guess have like demonized for so long, like because of propaganda. Like since growing up, it's like you hear Cuba, all you think is like Castro, communism, and but like most things in America that people feel so strongly about, nobody is really educated on it or knows anything about it. And then when people can benefit from it, they're like, yeah. Like I remember when I was in college, like I think in 2017, when everyone was going to Cuba that one time because you could go. I went.
You went?
And I went but me and my friend at the time were like, all right, we're not going like everyone else. We're not gonna go be tourists and stuff. Because he had spent the summer before, he had been in Cuba the summer before for like a summer program, like a school program. And he was like, I spent so much time there. Spend the summer. He was like, I spent time there.
He's like, I'm Cubano now, bro.
He's like, I know everything. But like he was telling me all about it. He like connected with a lot of like locals and stuff. And he was like in the skate community. So he was involved, like I think like a skate day or something in Cuba and stuff, and like connecting with like just kids that were into skating. And so we went the year later because we were like, oh, let's go do like a photo video project, highlighting like, you know, the locals and stuff, but then also try to do something commenting on all these tourists coming to Cuba, because we were like, it's not like, you know, it's like when people go to I don't know, like to the Caribbean or something, or to, you know, resorts just and shit, where it's like you're going to live this lavish ass experience, and the people who live here are not living like this.
That's not the lifestyle.
Which is crazy. Like, you know, so we were like, let's go document that. Let's go like pay attention to that. And that was interesting. But again, like so many people who went that year, I'm like, how many of them actually know anything about Cuba? How many of them are like actually doing research or like getting to know even the people there? You know, it's like you just treating them like slaves.
Well, and that's where, like I even reconcile it with myself, because it's like I'm a Miami Cuban. I'm grateful that I've always grown up in like both my parents are quote unquote progressive, right? Like they're liberal, and I'm radicalizing every single day, you know? And I've seen certain things push and that's great. So I didn't grow up in that like specifically like super conservative household. I mean, my extended family is conservative. But I still do know that it's like, it's not like my mom or dad were espousing the virtues of socialism. You know what I mean? Like I remember when Bernie Sanders came onto the scene, and my mom being like, I'm sorry, but you're never gonna win with the word socialist. and that, you know. And I don't blame her either. I mean, it's just interesting to know for myself that like I was never in a conscious way really taught truly about Cuba and like really about that experience and really like what the revolution like meant, and like and I know that like only years later, way further into my adulthood, did I understand more about like the U.S. like everything, when you look into
Yeah.
it more, it's like, well, and
Yeah.
then they did it. We were the
Yeah.
bad ones,
Yeah.
and the CIA
Exactly.
is all over that damn joint. And like,
Yeah.
and it's like, I wonder how things could have been different for me and like people around my age growing up in Miami had we always actually had that knowledge and like had that city not been
Mhm.
dominated by the like anti-Castro like propaganda,
Yeah.
which it
I mean,
is. I mean,
that's the cool thing about kids growing up today, where it's
yes,
like, because of TikTok, because of the internet, like
yeah,
kids are having conversations that I was not thinking about until yesterday.
I
Like,
know, it's
and they're like
awesome.
5 years old. Like, well, this is how the American Revolution. And they're like, okay, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's dope because, again, going back to like me and my girlfriend always joke about like how America is, seen as the leader of the free world and this and that, and we talk
Mhm.
about like North Korea and like all these countries with dictators and stuff. Like, do you see how they praise their president and like a dictator, and then
Like,
they sing
look
their national anthem and this and
around.
that? I'm like, literally, I like
Literally.
that.
It's
That's
so
it
it's
over
literally,
here.
I was thinking about that last night because
Yeah,
yeah, because of literally I started doing more research on stuff through this stuff me and my mom were
yeah.
discovering, and I was like watching this one documentary, and it's funny the way that people talk about Castro and like the influence and whatever. I'm like, not dissimilar
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
what we are
yeah,
witnessing currently. Am I
yeah.
fucking cuckoo crazy?
Exactly. I mean, it's like the movie. I keep thinking of the movie, The Interview with James Franco and
Oh
Seth
yeah.
Rogen, the North Korea one, because I'm like, that's literally how Trump is being treated nowadays, where it's like
Yeah.
literally like our imperial leader, and like the people putting his photos up everywhere, we singing about him and this and that,
Mhm.
like. And even beyond like just today, I'm like, America has been I remember I was thinking of like when I first moved to America, because I'm not from America.
Yeah.
I moved here when I was 12, and I remember going to school, and it's like first day of school in seventh
Okay, wait.
grade
So we're
and
getting, this is perfect sliding into the
okay.
podcast. Okay, so where did you move from when you were
uh
12? Everyone,
I
the
moved.
last like, not the last one, but the last two episodes, people like moved from when they were 12. This is so crazy. Things are happening.
Hey,
Okay,
that's when
and
America
12, I think
kidnaps
is
us.
such a like crazy time to have a big
Yeah.
life change.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like you're starting to step into early young adulthood and figuring out
Exactly.
yourself and shit. So, no, very, very, very pivotal point. Like, I mean, and I moved from a whole different continent. I moved from Europe. I lived in Ireland, and then I moved to Atlanta, into Georgia, the state. So
Okay, why
very
were you in
different.
Ireland?
And then I got to explain this part, and
Yes.
this is even crazy. Okay, so. I moved to Ireland from Egypt, and
Great.
then so that's I was like, so why were you in Egypt? And then and my parents are from the Congo and Senegal. So
Okay.
my parents were both born in the Congo. My dad's family is from Senegal. And so so they went to college in Egypt, and then that's where they met and stayed there for a while. Had me and my brother, and then they wanted to move to America because they
Yeah.
wanted us to go to school in America, American dream.
Of course,
Ah,
exactly.
and then couldn't get green cards. My dad was always applying for green cards through the lottery system, couldn't get it. So then they were like, let's go to England, because I think they were like, maybe go to England and then spend time there, then go to America.
Sure.
And then we had like family friends that had moved from Egypt to Ireland, and they were like, it's lots of jobs, lots of easy immigration. Let's go. So then we
Yeah.
went there, and I think it was supposed to be a pit stop before going to England, and
Sure.
then it ended up being 9 years, 9 years, and
Wow.
it was dope. We dug
Where in
it, and so
Ireland?
Dublin.
In Dublin?
Yeah, yeah, we were like the first black family ever.
That's
Like,
nuts.
There's literally an article. I talk about it on stage, and people always think it's a joke, and then they go home
People
and they're
probably
like,
think a lot is a joke. Oh my God, I
"Oh
still
yeah,
haven't actually introduced you. Wait.
oh yeah, go ahead."
Okay, and this person that we are talking, you're listening to is wow. I only have multi hyphenates on this show, bitch. Okay, it's multi hyphenates only. If you have one
Let's
hyphenate,
go.
call me back when you get another. Okay,
So,
it's writer, director, actor, comedian extraordinaire. Would I say founder of
yep,
founder
CEO,
and
founder.
CEO, everything of Fuck Hollywood Productions. And you know we've been talking about Fuck Hollywood lately, and his birth name is literally Daddy. It's Daddy.
It is me. Yeah, people also don't believe that when after they come up to me on, they'll be like, "So wait, what's your actual name?" I'm like, "Did you not just hear what I was talking about for the past 10 minutes on
Believe
stage?
women and believe Daddy. Okay.
Come on,
Okay.
come
Everybody
on."
like it's like I understand why you would think that, but then also like who do you think I am? Lame? You think I'm lame? A
Literally,
liar? You think I'm a lame liar who's doing it for those clicks?
it would literally. I
My mom
always
did it
say
for the clicks
like,
before I could. Sorry. That's how I would say. That's what I would say.
exactly. No, my mom did it. Literally. No, because whenever people think it's a joke, I'm like, I feel like it takes a very, very, very like exactly what you said. It would take a very like lame person to make this their
Who has
identity and go
nothing
around
else
telling
going
people.
on for them.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
the
hey, you
thing.
gotta call me daddy. Because for me, it's like I feel like I don't even make it such a big deal. Like I'm not going around like telling everyone my name's Daddy.
Hey, by the way.
I
Yeah.
mean, in my videos, I'll say that because it's like I know that'll attract attention. But in regular everyday conversation, I'm not just going around talking about my name. Because I'm
Yeah.
more like, hey, by the way, my name is. I'm gonna preface it. It's normal. It's not weird. It's
Yeah.
Daddy. So versus like it takes it'd be like a douchebag to walk around like, hey, I'm Daddy.
The thing is those people are not multi hyphenates. They only have one
Come
hyphenate, and it
on.
would be that their name would be Daddy.
Yep, yep. It's like I got a
You
whole
don't
personality
understand what it's
outside of
like.
it. So
What was it
yeah.
like for you to grow up with that name and being like the, I guess, only black people in your neighborhood?
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. It was because my first language is French. So I
Ooh
never
la
grew up
la.
calling my dad daddy. Exactly. We.
Mm.
And I grew up calling my dad Papa. And so I just knew my name. And I was 4 when we moved to Ireland. And I started speaking late also. I don't know when late is, but I know it was late. And now I talk too much.
Sure, you're making up
But
for
I
lost
remember,
time.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but when we moved to Ireland, that was when my name became weird. And because
Right.
I'm named after my uncle. My mom's little brother's nickname is Daddy.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean anything. It just that's
It's just
just there's no name. Yeah.
yeah.
And so I remember like moving to Ireland, starting like kindergarten and like school and stuff, and the teachers being like telling my parents like, "Do we have to call him that?" Like, and like the kids making fun of me. They were like, "Mommy, mommy, ah,"
Oh my
which is so
God.
stupid because it's
Yeah.
like their names were dumb and they were Irish, so they had like weird
They
names
had dumbass
like
names.
Kevin and Neve and fucking leprechaun names and shit. And so I was embarrassed about my name when their names are dumb. And
Yeah.
so to the point where like I legally changed my name. Like I switched my first name to my middle name and my middle name to my first name, which is my dad's name. And so I went by
Oh,
my middle name for a long time and
yeah.
I would hide it. Like I would hide daddy. And, like, you know, like when you have like a substitute teacher and then they have to like
Mm.
project the attendance lists and stuff. And
Oh
you're like, and I'd be like,
no.
oh shit, everyone's gonna see my name. Everyone's gonna see my name. No, 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 they're gonna know. They're gonna know. I would freak out. And so
Oh.
it was dumb. And so
But you reclaimed it
yeah. And
eventually.
then it wasn't until college where like I remember like going to NYU, a very progressive school.
Yeah.
And I remember like I was in art school, I was in film school, and I
You
remember
were in
like
the
on the
Tish.
first day, I was in Tisch with those rich kids who know nothing about art.
Hmm.
And so I remember on the first day of class, the professor going through the names, and at one point he stops and is like, he makes a weird face, which I know this face
No,
because
it's
I've
your.
seen
It's
people
gotta
do it.
be you.
I was like, it's my name, it's my name, it's my name. And I was like, here we go, here we go. Oh shit. And then he goes, who's daddy? And I'm like, everyone knows. And then I raised my hand and he's like, oh, that's a cool name. nice to meet you. And I was like, what?
Oh,
Really? And then everyone else is like, well, yeah, that's your name. Well, that's so cool.
approval.
Yeah, I mean, because I lived in Georgia, I never lived around like progressive people, and then also it's like
Sure.
a lot of people who are like, well, okay, the way I was gonna say it was gonna sound so ignorant because I was gonna be like, well, I'd never been around like gay people and trans people who were like changing their names and stuff, but,
But you weren't
but
around them in a concentrated classroom setting. I think that's fair.
yeah.
You might have been unknowingly,
Yeah,
but
exactly. No,
yeah.
that's always the crazy thing when I not always, but like sometimes when I look back on like high school and middle school, because especially living in somewhere like New York and going to NYU, where you have so many different identities and like
Right. People are
and
gay.
forms of
People are gay as hell.
representation. Yeah, whether it's
Yeah.
sexuality, religion, whatever culture, but like especially with sexuality, like something that is so like not talked about and like hidden in the
Of
South.
course. Yeah.
So it's like there's so many people I look back, I'm like, oh, that kid was just gay. Oh, that kid was trans. Oh, that kid
Exactly.
was
You're like,
like
oh, right. They were just gay the whole time. What the? Oh
yeah.
my God.
So
Yeah. Just it opens
so
up your whole entire perspective of the situation.
yeah, but it's not in any way of like, oh, like I treated anyone differently, but even just like people that were looked at differently or treated differently, and not even because anyone knew their
It's just
identity
like they knew
or
something was up.
yeah,
Something about
like
the situation was uncomfortable for them. And
yep,
then
yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, which is yeah. I'm showing my age, but I'm just like, oh, it's cool. We live in a time now where people don't really like whenever people talk about like how like you like it's not really a thing to come out anymore. It's just like
Right.
people just are what they are, and that's it. And so it's again back to kids just growing up with more access to information
Totally.
and normalizing of things that were kept in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
was talking about this in my last episode with this guy Alex Fernie, where he was saying, he's like 40 something, I can't remember.
mhm.
And he was saying how like his mom knows the term mutual aid now. Like if that
Mm,
is like people really work overtime trying to act like nothing like
mhm,
big and seismic can change in our world because
mhm.
of, all of the factors. It's like look at time and this is where I'm like I do feel very strongly that I'm like, if we just abolish the cop show, we could get to abolish the police. You know what I mean? Like, I do think
Yeah, yeah.
it's not a stupid
Mhm.
connection to make because it's like the culture waves are big,
Yeah,
for good
yeah.
and bad. And like, it's just the police's job to discount that. You know what I mean? So don't do it for
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Propaganda is real.
it's true. It's really true.
It starts
Propaganda is
from an
real.
early age.
And what's funny about like something that I've been thinking about in relation to the Cuba of it all, where it's like, okay, propaganda was real for sure in Miami. And I know I always heard my grandparents just like talking about Castro, they're obsessed. But also like a lot of like both of my grandparents when they came here, they both thought it was like going to be for a little stint, like not
Mm.
forever. And
Mm.
so that is like a
Like, did
context
they
in
think
which
they were gonna go back?
they thought they were going to go back, like things were going to
Mhm.
settle down or whatever.
Mhm.
And this is where I'm like getting into histories and starting to learn yeah, there's stuff I need to learn about.
Mhm.
But all that being said, like, okay, propaganda against, Castro and whatever. But I'm like, you know what I remember distinctly that I do think is a frankly Miami or Cuban like thing that I don't think every kid grew up doing is like when we were being little rapscallion kids, at my
Mhm.
like K through 8 school I went to, um I remember it would be a thing where we would be like, Libertad, libertad, libertad. Like that is
Like it's
what we
Scarface.
did. That's what we did. Like if the teacher was being annoying or whatever,
Yeah,
like we were revolting,
that's
whether we knew
crazy.
it or not. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's not like like that's not just like and everybody. That's
No,
the kids didn't
we
grow
weren't
up
doing
doing.
that in Ireland.
Right, but like we didn't even know what we were invoking, but I'm like that's why I'm like the kids are revolutionary
Yeah.
by nature,
Well,
okay?
that does make me think of in Ireland, like people would not do the exact same thing, but make jokes about like the IRA and stuff, and
Yeah.
like a lot of the Northern Ireland versus Republic
Right.
type stuff. So it is, yeah. I mean, it's like
There's
it
a
all
commonality. Well, that's the thing. Ireland obviously
oppressed
also
people.
has. It's funny. I was literally just watching that Andrew, that like Channel 5. He did like a video on like
Yeah.
the Irish language revival, and it's
Oh,
very
Gaelic
interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is coming back.
One thing the thing that I immediately thought of when you said that you were in Ireland was, what are other black? This is literally what I said. Who else do I know of as like a black person in Ireland? And it's Jamie Foxx shot the show Beat Shazam in Ireland. How do I know this? Because me and my friends once auditioned for Beat Shazam.
Yeah, they were like, you're gonna have to come to Ireland.
Literally, I was like, that's why I would do it, to go see the Rolling Hills.
Crazy.
Isn't that
That's
wild?
crazy.
That's where they shoot that show, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's wild. I mean, they shoot so much in Ireland now. I'm like, wow, home. Oh my God, look at it.
Does it
coming
feel
up.
like home? Like, well, because what feels like home to you then? And what kind of kid are you? Right. This is a big question. Okay, so what kind of kid are you when you're like exiting Ireland? I guess so. Okay, by the way, this is a podcast about childhood crushes and the way they inform your view in love and relationships, and love and relationships is politics, by the way. Okay. So do you have like one central crush story you like want to focus on or remember, or like a couple people, and like, is it pre-Ireland or post-Ireland?
I feel like I have. Oh my God, it's a bunch. Well, I guess there's like.
So were you crushing in
There's
Ireland
George-
pre-12 then? Do you remember?
Not necessarily. I feel like there's like yes and no, because dating culture in Ireland is, I don't know if it's progressive or weird, but like it was like in Ireland, there's a thing. I don't know what it's like now because I haven't been there since 2007 when I left. And so, but when I was there was a thing called like, they would like, instead of dating someone, it'd be like you're meeting someone, right? Like so, and like meeting is just like you guys aren't even in a relationship. Y'all just make out. To meet someone is to make out.
Oh,
and
great.
So, like someone would literally be like, "You want to meet me?" And you're like, "Okay," and then y'all just make out. And
Way.
yes, and they used to have like this thing called the what?
I said iconic, kind of.
Exactly. And this would start as early as like 12 to like 16 and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
and or even older, but like I think it was like between preteens and like teens, so like 12 to 18 is like
Yeah.
And like they would have a thing called the socials, which is just like clubs for like teens,
For
like
kids.
teen clubs.
Yeah.
And so the goal at the socials was who can meet the most people. And I'm like, when people just spreading herpes and shit, I don't know. But anyways, so it was like some people would meet like 10 people, some people would meet like 5 people, whatever. And if you never met anyone, they'd call you a frigid, which is basically like a virgin.
My God.
So there
Were
was
you
a
a
whole
frigid?
Yeah, up until I mean, everyone was once a frigid.
Yeah, it's true.
But
did you get to meet anyone before
no,
you?
I got to meet people. But it was like I guess like I mean I left when I was 12, so it was like around like 11, 12, I think when I first met anyone.
Oh my God.
I was a late bloomer. And because I was shy and quiet most for a lot of my childhood up until I was like 17. But yeah, there was I was like late bloomer.
So were you feeling like were you feeling any like well, this was actually, I had a great question. Listen to this, you're gonna love this. This is hilarious. You have a famous song where you say, "I don't date white women. I'm racist."
Yeah, I got a lot.
Was this always true?
No, well, that's the thing. Whenever people are like,
and is it
so
even
true? People are like, so you've never dated a white woman? I'm like, I lived in Ireland. Of course I have.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question before you told me Ireland, but now I still thought it was funny, so I was gonna say
I have retired, but
you're out of that game.
But there was a time, and like I'm always like, I remember, I'm like,
but do you think that like attraction or like horniness or whatever was like self-born, or do you feel like it was the culture around you being like, time to meet, TikTok, time to meet, you know? Or were you like,
It's
I'm
hard.
ready to meet
It's
someone
hard. No,
meeting?
it's hard to say because I think it was so normal and common.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know if it's just a mix of both, but then also like Ireland is Catholic, so it's as much as I'm like it's progressive, but back then it was like the 90s and stuff, so it's like
Well, that's the
very
repressed horniness. That's why they're like,
yeah, yeah. That's why I'm like they all meeting. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, like I gotta meet somebody. And like, so I don't know if it necessarily I don't know. Like I feel like for me it's more so I don't know how it informed me like in terms of like horniness or sexual but
Mhm.
like but I think being in Ireland and especially it being so like religious and strict it did uh there's a lot of education and a lot of like learning in very informal ways because it's like I learned about abortions very early in life
Mm.
because everyone would always have a sister that was taking a vacation to England at some point. And you're
You're
like,
learning about abortions on the ground. That's the
yeah,
funny thing about Catholicism is that it's like you understand that Catholic guilt around sex will only make people have sex. Or want to have
exactly.
sex and not do it in the way that is not going to lead to an abortion. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing. you know?
Exactly. Exactly. You're
Wow.
learning like everyone's doing this stuff, but we're not talking about it. And so, but again, I guess like how you're saying, like a lot of repressed horniness that then leads to from like a lot of like it would be a lot of young people being like my sister's going to England next week, and you're like, why is the whole family not going on this family trip or whatever? You're like, no, no, she's just going to England. She'll be back in a
Solo
while,
trip,
whatever.
girls
Yeah,
trip.
and it's this. Yeah. It's like this 15-year-old trip.
Hilarious.
But so it was like, a lot of learning about like, a lot of learning about sex and all these things in these secretive ways.
Yeah.
Even like, yeah, but like I don't know, but then also, but I do think the whole thing around people like meeting, I think because that was at such an early age, I don't know, maybe it did like create like a comfort around
Sure.
talking about dating, around like around making out, or like even just the interest in what that could lead to, what is in all that,
No, I mean, if
Um,
you've met already, if you've made out a couple times and you're like 12 and coming to the States, okay,
yeah.
it's different. I mean, I don't know. I had my first kiss when I was 15 and I was like, I want to kill myself. I'm the oldest hag that's ever gotten a kiss. I was like, tick tock.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
lost my virginity a year later.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it's funny because it's like, I think America is a culturally sexualized like
Hmm.
place, but also in a like it doesn't I don't know. I think Miami was a very sexual place, which was why I was like it's horrible that I haven't like made out yet and I'm 15 and it's like
Hmm.
looking back, that was okay. It was really fine.
Yeah, it's like,
It was really
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
If
yep,
anything, I probably had sex with people that I would not, like when I was young, that
yeah,
maybe if I waited longer, I would have been like, I
yeah.
don't need to have sex with this person.
But that's also the thing about like I'm like I don't I'm like I was like because even when I think about like my first time having sex or anything, I think I was 16,
Mhm.
and I'm always like uh, I I would never do that again. And I'm like, I don't know if anyone's first sexual experience is like, yes, that
No,
was
never
great.
great. Oh, no, 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 no. Never
I'm like, that's
good.
weird. Like that's
Definitely
crazy.
no. Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
like it's
concerning a little.
exactly. Yeah, it's like I was 15 years old and it was the greatest thing ever. Like, nah, you should probably not
um,
have been doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, but just like it's funny because like how we say like the back and forth between like wanting to I guess like I'm like kids should be having all the conversations around sex, like there should be all the education information. Now the idea of doing it or anything, I'm like there's no rush for that. I
Yeah,
think but
chill,
I
chill.
think yeah, but I think when you're younger it's like because there isn't a lot of talk around it, the only way to really discover if I need it or want to do it is to do it.
Right.
And it's like this whole glamorized thing versus like I don't know when I look back I'm like no, I could have just kept playing video games. Like I was having way more fun with that. Like,
Yeah. You're like, I would really know how to score like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
So
So,
when you came over to
mhm,
Georgia, were you
mhm.
like excited about this or like so you go from wow, you go from like no black people to like
Yeah,
black people.
yeah, like
How was
because
that for
Georgia
you?
especially is like
That's the thing.
so
It's not
black.
just like it's not like some any place state. Yeah.
No, no,
And
and
was
we were
that like
living
an
in like
intentional thing or like what was the reasoning for you guys to go there? Was it just like job or whatever?
no,
Like, let's
I mean it
just do
was
the
like
most opposite experience that we can
yeah,
possible.
pretty much. Because I mean, like Egypt. Think about this. Like my dad is black and Muslim and
Mm,
came from Egypt to Ireland, which is white Catholic,
so
and then
crazy.
yeah. So then it's like, all right, let's go make another crazy, change. And then Georgia, we moved. We were because we got green cards, and we were debating on going to. I think there was like either DC because my mom's brother is out there,
Mm,
and we had visited before, and then New York, because my whole family loved New York, and my
sure,
mom's best friend was here, and then Georgia, because Georgia was like very cheap, and my dad's college best friend was out there.
sure.
So we ended up going to Georgia because it was like the cheapest, and because
Yeah.
the man's best friend is there,
Mhm.
so that's where we're going. But
I
but
gotta see
no,
my
it was
boy.
yeah,
Gotta link
I gotta see the
up with
boy.
my friend. I don't
Guy
know about you
time.
guys, but I'm gonna see my friend.
Yeah. But it was really like yeah, no, it was just like cost of living easier
Mm,
for like to start over and like build a family out there. So we moved to Georgia and then um yeah, we ended up living like in a very black neighborhood, like almost like basically a hood adjacent neighborhood.
mhm.
Like it wasn't the hood, but right across the street is all the shootouts.
Sure.
And like you go into the same school as all the gangs and everything.
Right.
So,
Your
like I've
proximity to
literally
the
remember
hood is a lot closer than when you lived in Ireland.
exactly. But also Ireland did
Yeah,
have its
I
hood
guess
too. Like it had, but
true.
it's just white hoods. Like there was a
Different.
neighborhood called Fox Dean, which is literally like it is the white ghetto. Like if your
Wow.
car got robbed, like because there was a lot of like people would just steal cars all the time and take them joyriding because kids have nothing to do out in Ireland and the
Hey,
cops don't
respect.
have guns. So like
Oh, see, that's the game changer. When the cops don't have
yeah.
guns, do whatever, kids. Go
Dude,
off.
nobody was afraid of the police. Like, I didn't know about police brutality. I knew about
That's crazy,
brutalizing the
actually.
police. Like that's,
That's that's
you know,
actually nuts to think about.
yeah. Like kids, like we were running from the cops from a very young age, and just like as a game,
But like,
because we didn't think we,
not like
yeah, we
running
weren't
for
like
your
we're
life.
gonna die. Like yeah.
Jesus.
And so that's the thing. It's like Ireland. I think of it with a lot of innocence. But like I feel like what was I talking about? Oh yeah, joyriding. Yeah,
Yeah.
people would like. There was a neighborhood where like if your car got stolen, knew the first thing you should do is go to that neighborhood and just check if there is a car burning in the middle of the field in the middle of the neighborhood because every neighborhood in Ireland has like a big field in the middle that they
Yeah.
call the green because everyone just plays soccer.
Yeah.
And so like it'd be the suburbs and all the houses are around like this big green.
Sure.
And
Just right in the
and this
middle.
one literally, yeah, just a plot of land. And this one neighborhood called Foxteen, you would just know, like, go check if you call the cops if they don't know where the car is. Go to that neighborhood. Your car is probably in the middle of that field
On the green.
on fire, and every
Hilarious.
house in the neighborhood is surrounding that field. So everyone's just looking at it, just like, oh, yep, there's your car. There's your
Get some
car.
marshmallows out.
Yeah,
Have a little
yeah. And that neighborhood
dang.
was scary, dog. That was the
Yeah.
hood. Like
Yeah.
it's like the way that white people feel like, walking through Bed-Stuy or Brooklyn. I'm like, that's how I felt walking through that neighborhood, you know? And then also, and then also and then there was an even next level of the, like, there was the hood, and then there was like, I guess in America you got like the hood and then you got the projects maybe. But like in Ireland, it was like you had the hood and then you had the trailer park, which is where like the Irish travelers would live.
Mm,
And now looking back, I'm like, oh, systemic that was classism. That was the system
So funny
because
when you look back and you're like, oh, it's just right
mhm,
there.
yeah, because the way that we looked at them was literally the way white people look at like the way racist white people
Mhm.
look at like black people in society. Like those were our
Wow.
our no gooders, and like they even had an N word for them, knackers. They call them knackers. I was like, yeah. And
No,
people would be like, man, they're dirty and this and that. But they were just like white people that lived in trailers.
they were
And
just poor.
I guess at the time you would call them gypsies, which is not the word to say now.
Right,
But
right.
like, yeah, they were just
I'm just
poor white
like
people who
poor non landowners, frankly.
yes, and they would just set up shop on a plot of land, and
Yeah.
they just lived in their trailers, didn't have like plumbing and stuff. So it's like there's no there aren't like great showers and systems for them to clean, so they don't smell great, and
Yeah.
they don't have access to getting jobs that everyone else can get because they're looked down upon in society. But everyone would call them knackers, and like everyone was afraid of them because like they could fight and like they could fight like crazy.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of them box. In boxing, there's a lot of people who come from that community, but
Sure.
like
Yeah.
and they do like a lot of bare knuckle boxing. But anyways, so
They have to
yes,
fight to survive, frankly.
ex- yeah. So just
Usually.
to say, we had the hood in
Oh,
Ireland.
you had the hood. You had the hood.
But
You've experienced the
different hoods.
diaspora.
But it's just different forms of it because again, when you come to America, it's like okay, now going to like where we lived was like a very nice suburb, but it
Mm,
was like right across the street or down the street from like low income housing and low income neighborhoods and stuff. And
yeah.
I think Georgia in general is like that where it's like you walk like 2 minutes away and you're in like a rich area. You walk another street, you're in a
Yes.
poor area. So there's a lot of overlap. But so it was like a big culture shock already just like okay, black people. And
Yeah.
like
What
me,
was that like for you? How did that like I mean, how
yeah.
you must have reflected on
Hmm.
blackness in your
Yeah.
child brain being in Ireland. How
Yeah.
do you feel that changed for you when you were then like surrounded by black people?
Yeah. It's so complicated because I mean like by the time we left Ireland, Dublin was become had become so diverse and
Mm.
like even like my school, I
Trendsetters.
remember look literally in the
Thank
article about my
you.
family, they called us pioneers. And so
Yo, you changed the game in Dublin. That's
come
crazy.
on, laying
Dang.
groundwork. But like
Watch
it
this
was
space. We are creating new frontiers, dude.
I planted the flag. But it was really like I remember like coming to America, it's complicated. We were excited as hell because my brother and I, like I think outside of America, especially at the time, like nowadays, see, it goes into so many things.
Yeah.
Today, like today there's so much pride in like and I think this is something that all minorities are going through. Like even like the fact that Bad Bunny was at the Super Bowl last week, the fact that like
Yeah.
Latin music is like, on top of the charts and stuff, or even like for me it was like when Afro beats was like really blown up and
Popping
like
off. Yeah.
Black Panther coming out and like there's a lot of excitement around like Africa and like, being pro-African and
Right.
stuff like that versus when I was a kid that was not the case.
That
Like,
wasn't
you
really in
know,
your culture. That wasn't like
yeah,
around.
like even in Europe, like, a lot of Africans, there was a lot of shame and a lot of like, oh no, I'm European. I'm not African.
Mm.
I'm French. I'm
The
this and that.
assimilation.
Yeah, like you want to just like adapt. Like my family was very much like my parents were always like, you are what you are. Like this, you know where you're from. Um, so they had a lot of pride, but it was different it's different seeing it like in others and even like non-Africans embracing African culture because for me as a child it was just everyone knows Red Cross, Oxfam and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I moved to America there was a lot of excitement because the only sense of like coolness or pride in blackness was
Just
Black
from
American
America.
culture,
Right.
like literally seeing like we love like me and my brother love and we love like all Black culture. We love African culture, we love African American culture. So it was just exciting. Like for us, we're just like, oh, we're about to be around like Black people. Oh, this is sick. This is exciting. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And then moving to like because like I said, we moved to a hood adjacent area, so it's like our introduction to the hood in American sense.
Yeah.
And what we knew of that was more so just from like movies and like rap videos and this and that, where it's like fun and glamorous and this and that, like,
Hmm.
but then living there and you're like, oh, there's systemic issues that are not cool that are causing these environments to be like this. And discover it. It's not to say that I didn't know anything about like inequality in America, but you're not taught
But also, why would you at that age have
at
a
12.
real, yeah, the only
But
thing
it's
that you'd be
like
learning would be experiential, you know?
exactly. But I'm like, but it's also because that's the way that the world is shaped, where like only things we learned about Black history in America in Europe was, and which I think is what people also learn here, is Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks,
Right.
Obama. Like, and
Yeah,
and I
those
was
are the ones.
experiencing Obama because that
You
was
have
like
learned black.
2007.
Now you understand
Exactly.
what that
Exactly.
is.
But then I remember like going to my middle school and it was the first time having like black teachers. Like it was
Mm,
like I thought that was not legal. Like I had never seen a black teacher
wow.
before in
Yeah.
Ireland. And so I remember like my first class, my first day was I remember this professor, this teacher till this day, professor, whatever you want to call him, Mr. Outler. I always give him shout outs and stuff on online. But he was such a like pro-black teacher, and it's the first time for me experiencing this in school. Like in my house we talked a lot about like politics and like pride and this and that, but like at school never. And so this was the first time I had, like, literally first day of school, first thing in the morning, social studies. I walk into class, the teacher's like, I introduce myself, he's like, where are you from? And I say Egypt. And then he's like, oh, it's crazy because they were doing a section on Egypt at the time. And he's like, see, class, this, I told y'all this is what the Egyptians look like.
Take a good look. That is so crazy. Hilarious.
And I'm like, that's not what it looks like now. But like, but he was like, because he was the kind of teacher that would teach about like what was in the textbook, but then also go a
Challenge
step
it.
further and be like, okay, here's what they're not showing you. Here's like,
Right.
more of history around like Africa, around blackness, around this and that. So that was cool. Yeah, no, it was very much like
Did
eye
that give you
opening
like
in the good and bad.
a pride in a sense, or like how were you feeling like
Yeah.
were you feeling like, yeah, I guess when it comes to identity, were you like, now I am a Black American? Or are you
Mm.
like, like I'm an immigrant? Like how are you sort of like starting to self-identify if you
Identify.
are like in the
Yeah.
context of your life?
Woo.
Because you're
Like
kind
so
of a
there's a
man of the world now.
yeah, I'm all over the
I mean,
place,
even at that
man.
point, you were.
I was
Um,
born in basically the Middle East. I lived in
yeah,
Africa. So I feel like I mean I'm constantly challenging what is my identity, what am I, because I feel like, even like in the conversation of like being an African American, I guess for me, I'm not.
right.
Some people say I am, some people say I don't. I'm not. And for me, I'm like, I don't really take on the identity because I'm like, no, that should be left for true African Americans, people who are truly descendants of slaves, whose
Right.
families and ancestors built this country and all that. Um, I'm like, I'm a black person in America. I'm an African in America.
Sure.
Um, some people like people go back and forth with me, and they're like, some black people be like, no, you're African American because you're African and you grew up in
You're
America, so you
like, it's
have
right
like
there in the
African,
name, African
like,
American.
and then others are like, no.
One
And for
plus
me, I'm just
one
like,
equals African
I.
American.
Come on. But for me, it's like with identity, I don't know, especially because I'm like, I've moved so much. Like, it's not, I don't really even hold on
It's the
to,
moving. Yeah.
yeah, I don't claim like one identity. Even like I say I'm African and I'm Congolese, because of my heritage and everything. And I do feel a connection to it. But at the end of the day, I'm never like, this land is my land. This
Right.
place is me, and blah blah. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I identify more with people than with places. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
So how were you
I
starting
think,
to relate to people in Georgia when you moved there? Like, did you get friends
yeah,
like quickly? Like, what
yeah.
kind of kid are you when you're stepping onto the scene? You're like, I'm
I feel
joking.
like I,
I'm new.
I
Okay.
feel like
Also, I did have a moment where I thought, I'm like, I guess there's like a world in which you could have grown up with like an Irish accent.
yeah, I had a thick Irish accent when we
Did
moved to
you really have
America.
like you had
Me and
one?
me and my brother had
Wow.
thick Irish accents. Everyone like when we would tell people would be like, "Where y'all from?" and we would say Ireland, and people were like, "Which island?" because they thought we were talking about like the
The
Caribbean, like
island.
yeah, because we're black in the hood. Like
Yeah, they're like,
they
what are you
don't
talking
know.
about? They're
They're
like
like,
context clues.
yeah,
He's not saying Ireland.
yeah, no, like, there's no way. Are you dumb? Why would he say Ireland?
That's so funny.
And especially the accent. And I didn't really know Jamaicans or anything, so I was like, why does everyone think we're Jamaican? And
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
started meeting
yeah.
Jamaicans, and the tree. Everyone says no, they don't say their ths and stuff and like certain slangs.
So
Um,
there's like definitely a crossover of
there's a little bit of an
yeah,
overlap, and I was like, oh yeah, like the Jamaican accent is kind of like a Black American pirate, like you know, like a
right.
Black American Irish pirate, basically. Like so
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, yeah, I
So
hear it.
wild.
Ireland is my childhood, Georgia is my teenage years, and then New York is my adult life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's
So when
yeah,
you're
and
stepping
that's where
into
even
the,
like
yeah,
when
no,
for
just go
me
on.
in sense of like where I'm from, well, then this is where it also becomes controversial. I'm like, I guess I say New York, but then New Yorkers are gonna be like, no, you're not. So
Right. Nah,
I don't know. It's
not
like
yet.
I'm not really from. I'm like I'm not really from a place. I'm more of like just at a place, you know. Like that's my
Yeah.
vibe.
You're kind of Mr. Worldwide in a way, like Pitbull. Even though
I'm Pitbull,
I think
man.
Pitbull is the enemy. Unfortunately, it's very sad. But
Yeah,
to be Mr.
yeah.
Worldwide is kind of the problem about Pitbull. It's like, you got to be not Mr. Worldwide because you're not.
Yeah, you Mr. Local, okay?
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Specific.
Daddy definitely more worldwide, I'd say. Okay, so stepping into the scene, you kind of have an
Yeah,
accent.
yeah,
Everything's new. Your teacher's like, "This
yeah.
is what an Egyptian looks like. Show me what an Egyptian looks like." And then they point to you. What's your personality like? Like, how are you
Yeah.
socializing?
Well, it's funny. My dad keeps like everything, like all my report cards and everything,
Sweet.
and he's a hoarder in the sense of like with information. He's like the government, and so he collects data. So
Good.
I remember like he gave me all of my stuff from my childhood recently, and I was looking like a lot of my report cards from like kindergarten and stuff. They would always say like he like a lot would say like I was shy and quiet, but then they would also say like I adapt into other environments easily. Like I'm good at working with different people.
Mm.
And over time, I could see like, oh, by the end, it's saying I'm very talkative. And then we moved to Georgia. And then it starts over where it's like, okay, shy at first, but still able to adapt. And by the end of our time, like, I feel like this is how my life usually goes. I move somewhere new. I'm figuring out the lay of the
Low key.
land,
Yeah.
and then by the end of my time there, I'm like the most popular person there, and then I leave, and then it
Yeah,
started all over.
just at the peak, you're
So
like, you don't need me anymore.
yeah,
And
because
then you
that's how it was.
pop.
Like in Georgia, even in Georgia, it was like we were in like that hood adjacent neighborhood first. We were there for like 2, 3 years, like between I think yeah, seventh grade till the end of eighth grade. And right before I was gonna go to high school, which I was excited about, I became popular. I'm like the popular kid, nominated for prom king, and this and that, blah 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 blah.
Wow.
And then we leave and move to a new school in like a more diverse part of town.
Okay.
And this is where like kids have like Confederate flags on their trucks and stuff, but they're
And
just like,
it's
this is my
so fun
family heritage.
when you say the more diverse part of town,
Diverse.
the one with the Confederate flags and everything.
Well, that's the thing.
A diversity of flags and
A diversity in thinking, in thought,
yes,
you know,
yes, yes.
in politics. Cause like, yeah, I remember like that was crazy. That was wild. And again, it's especially during like Obama's second
Mm.
run where it's like you know
Racism's
the
over, by the
racism.
way.
No, it's like it
Everyone's like,
doubled
by the
down.
way, racism's over. So that is the funny thing where it's like people were like, racism is over, and therefore it has actually there's so much space for all of where racism was that we could actually do maybe more racism there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
It's
it's actually over,
like
so we
let's
could
fill
just
the
be
gap.
racist now.
Yeah,
It's okay, like let's double down. Literally, it's
yeah.
yeah, no, it's dumb. Because I remember, yeah, kids like that you're friends with being like, "Well, people just vote for him because he's black and blah blah," and it's yeah, I'm voting for this Mormon Mitt Romney. But
Yeah,
never seen the country rally around a Mormon so hard.
gross.
No
Yeah.
shade to Mormons. Well, actually, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Mormons, so I don't know if they're.
It's not a
Aren't they the ones that
great.
believe that like Jesus doesn't like black people, like black people are cursed or something? I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure that's in there. I'm sure
I
that's in
watched
there.
one
They
cartoon
have
about
like a
Mormonism
bunch of
on YouTube.
wives, and then I actually went to a Mormon temple once that like was opening in Fort Lauderdale, and it's like they'll do a
Mm,
thing where like for the weekend before it's like they'll have it open to the public and you can
mhm,
go walk through before it's like closed off to Mormons
mm,
only, and like you wear like little things over your shoes so you don't get it dirty and stuff, and they show you these different rooms which are supposed to be sort of like the stages of life as according to Mormonism. And let
mm.
me tell you, I walked away, I said, lighting design is incredible because I said lighting design and architecture combined, this is, I understand how they create holy spaces to feel
Mm.
holy, and it's like literally the high ceilings or a low
Yeah.
ceiling, like the contrast of the lighting and
Mhm.
the design,
Yeah.
it puts you like in a space, but it's like this is what they all are. Like a church is beautiful and peaceful, and
Yeah.
it's like, you
Yeah.
know what I choose to be like amazed by? Human ingenuity of like
Yeah.
design. Like that's damn smart. I don't know what freaky stuff you're getting. Oh, I walked past one of their baths. They have like one of those big bath things for like baptisms. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's creepy. Beautiful marble though.
I love your
can't,
materials.
can't fault the stone.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that they're racist, 1,000%.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, first of all, it's like literally, I'm like, can I think of a black Mormon? And I'm like, I started watching Salt Lake City, Real Housewives, and
Mhm.
no, the one black she's not Mormon in it. So I'm gonna say
No.
they don't exist, or if they
And if
do,
they do, they're weird.
come on, guys, we want better
Yeah.
for you. Anyways,
Never be the first black anything.
yeah, let's stop talking about Mitt Romney. Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting back to
Yeah.
you're in
Yeah.
school.
Cool. Getting freaky. No,
Yeah. So
so
you become confident, like
I become confident once again.
yes.
And I learned the lay of the land. And I remember there was, yeah, I had, I remember
Had
I
some
had like,
questions?
yeah. Oh, I feel I've always been a crusher.
Okay.
But I've always been like, or not a crusher, but I've always been like, into love
Hmm.
and relationships because, and I think a big part of it starts with my parents
Oh
who
yeah.
are divorced now, but I think that their marriage created an idea in my mind of like
You
I
saw
had
it for
this
a while. You're like, this is
yeah
the beautiful
yeah where
example.
it's like any relationship that I'm in, it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my wife, and this is the yep, I'm only getting in this. I feel like I'm the kind of person where it's like if I don't, it's like I get in a relationship, I don't just want to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. It's like if I'm in a
Right.
relationship, then it's like, oh, we're building something, and it's changed over time. But for a
Mhm.
lot of my life, it was like this is a serious thing that
You're my
could go
girlfriend.
on forever or whatever.
Yeah,
Like even in
yeah.
high school, it's like this could be my wife. Blah, 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 blah. Like, and I'm not saying we got to get married right now, but I'm like, but this could go somewhere.
Yeah, you're
Um,
long-term thinking. Wow, you're
yeah,
serious
versus
about it.
yeah, and like I think I'm still pretty serious. Not pretty. I'm still
Yeah.
serious about relationships, but I don't put the pressure on it now of like this has to end in marriage and this has to
Yeah.
because like I think once my parents divorced, which was like I think 2021,
Okay, so
once
you're
they
done being a child. You're like
yeah,
you've seen
yeah,
it. They've given you the example for your entire life, and then
yeah.
yeah.
I think it just gave me a because I saw them go through, and sorry, this is job I'm gonna go back to,
Yeah.
but I feel like it would I feel like they had a relationship, and I feel like the view of my family from a lot of people everywhere we went was like the perfect family and the perfect couple and this and that, da, 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 da. But then it's like seeing that break up and like end, you
Sure.
also see the reality of it. Like, no, this wasn't a perfect relationship. Like they have their problems and their flaws and this and that. And I'm actually very happy that they're not together. I mean, I would love
Yes.
for them to be together, but I see how much happier they have been apart, which was
Right.
even weird at first because I was like, all right, so why don't y'all just get back together? Like y'all are best friends, y'all be talking and everything, and like
Mm-hmm.
like they can get along better
So
than
it
how
wasn't
things were
like,
before.
was it like an amicable, like it wasn't like a super traumatizing divorce or or like, I
It
mean, you don't have to get
was
into it, but
no, it was like it's a roller coaster of like it went through its phases. Like there was the phase of them like hating each other. There's the phase of it of them like trying to figure it out, like going
yeah.
back and forth. And there was like, all the it was like really an evolution of them like breaking completely apart to then being friends and like literally
Yeah.
being in each other's lives and stuff. And so that just gave me the understanding of relationships can evolve. It's not like what it is today is what it's going to be forever. It's like
Exactly.
maybe it'll evolve in one way and you'll still get closer. Maybe it changes and you get further apart from each other. Maybe I don't know. It's like it doesn't have to be this one singular thing of like dating, married, blah 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 blah. Like
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think
I'm
that's a
like
gift. I mean, I was a child of three divorces. Like I've never
mm,
seen my parents together. But
mm,
they're also friends and cool and fine. And I feel like that gave me the perspective of just like not necessarily being like, oh, no one, like all marriages end in divorce
yeah
and they're
yeah
all
yeah.
bad. But it was more so like I think that I think it can be true that people can be there for a time or a season or a
Mm,
chapter and like
mm.
that life isn't so black and white like that, Like I've
Yeah
seen
yeah.
both my parents move and live other lives,
Yes.
beyond.
Yes. I
And
think people
yeah.
who sorry, go ahead.
No. I just think that can be reassuring actually in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people whose parents have never divorced are like people who still believe in Santa Claus. It's like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be great. It's just gonna be this forever. And it's like, no, bitch.
Yeah. I can
It's
usually
like
tell
this.
when it's like, oh, your parents have been in love and and
Yeah,
together your whole life. Oh,
yeah.
okay, how interesting for you.
Yeah.
I bet reality will really hurt when it slaps you in the face one day.
Exactly. When you realize my mom hates my dad, like
Exactly. Yeah.
like because there is like a superficiality and like a layer of I don't know, just aspects that we don't, especially like your parents aren't gonna show like aren't gonna
Right.
really reveal their relationship to
Your
you.
mom
They're
or your
your
dad's never
parents.
telling you when they've like conceded on like the fifth thing that they don't want to
Yep,
compromise
yep,
on, but they're doing
yep.
it because they don't want to fight. They're not,
Exactly.
they're not exposed
But
to all
versus
that.
when there's a removal, when it's like whether they've divorced or separated, it's like now they can talk to like your mom can talk to you about your dad as
Yeah.
not my husband. It's like
Right.
he's your dad. He's not my husband.
Yeah.
That's your dad.
I don't
Like,
claim that anymore. I put that on
yeah, that's
your father.
that's your man's dog. Like that's
Come
what it
get your
becomes.
man's because he's not
Yeah.
mine.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like there could be a little more like real shit. And then also you see them in their own individual lives. So you see them as individuals, especially as when you're an adult.
You're like,
Now you
that's a
can really
person. Oh my God, a whole
exactly.
ass adult person. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And I guess maybe there are people whose parents have just been together forever and everything's perfect and whatever.
Listen,
But
we
that's
love
weird.
love and I'm here
That's
for love. Okay. I think there's probably someone's lying, but no.
exactly. Or
Someone's
it's
lying
like
about something.
or they better be honest about like, yeah, there was like some years where we fucking hated each other and like
Right, right.
because no relationship can be just
A,
everything's perfect forever Mormonism, you know?
yeah.
So
That's the thing. That's why they have
so
like 8 wives. It's like that's a whole,
ex, ex like look, wife number 2 and 3, I don't
It's
want them
funny
right
because it's
now,
like
but
also it's like with like Catholicism, right? It's like okay, what's keeping the sanctity of marriage? Like if you get divorced, your ass is going to fucking hell. Okay, so
exactly.
that's what hell for you. Okay, so
Yep,
you best
yep.
stay together, happy or
We got to
not.
make this work for God,
For
our
God,
third.
for
Like
God that wants to send you to hell if you want to
exactly.
break up with your husband who cheated on you. Don't do
You
it.
want to
You're
go
gonna go
find
to hell.
happiness elsewhere?
Yeah,
God's
exactly.
like, I
I'll
gave
see you
you
both
this
in hell.
man. Literally.
Yeah.
No, so
But you did
no,
grow
I'd
up
say all
seeing the
that.
love, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, grew up with like, traditional,
Hmm.
household and everything. So when I'm in middle school, and just as a young person, it's like, yes, I loved the idea of like a traditional relationship and this and that.
Yeah.
So when I, being, and especially being in America, it's like me and my brother also were like, we were glamorizing everything about America before we were coming to America. We'd be up at night in bed, like, one day we're gonna live in America. We're gonna have American girlfriends. We're gonna have da, 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 da. So
American
like when I
Girlfriend.
came here,
Who's that? I love
dude,
it.
yeah, I came to America. I'm like seeing girls with accents and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, it's like Saved by the Bell. Oh my god, steak cheeseburger, So
Oh my God, that's
it was
hilarious.
I could crush instantly.
Yeah, the
But
whole thing was enamoring.
you know but
Yeah,
then it was like I remember the first relationship that I had in America, which was again middle school, so it's like
sure.
seventh grade.
I'm still
So
jealous.
stupid.
Everybody likes to qualify that, and it's like, yeah, but I didn't have a boyfriend in seventh grade, so I'm still jealous. You say,
Well,
oh, it was
imagine
real, it
how
wasn't real. Okay, it was real to me when I didn't have it. Okay.
would you want to date? I mean, it's easy saying it now, but like at the time, I'm like today, I'm like, could you imagine dating a 12-year-old boy?
I mean, no, because I'm a 30-year-old woman, so no, I can't.
So you,
But I was,
but at the time, it's like
hot
I
one.
need this.
Yeah, no,
No,
I
I
didn't.
get it. I get it.
I was just like, I'm literally a troll. I'm literally a troll. No one wants to date me. I'm like the ugliest girl that's ever existed. But so you were
dodged so many bullets.
you didn't struggle the ways that I did though. You you
No,
had
quite on the
prospects.
contrary. I had my fun time. But it was so stupid.
So
That's the
who
thing.
was
It's like
this relationship?
I
What kind
remember
of girl was she?
the first girl that I dated, she was pretty popular. Not or like I guess not popular, but like
Humble brag. Okay,
no, not like
fine.
there's popular and then there's known and then she
Okay,
was known. I
she's
feel like
famous.
everyone knows her. Everyone
Yeah,
knew her at school,
she's
but she wasn't
affable,
like the it
charming.
girl. She wasn't like
Okay.
the cool girl. But she was no, she was cool. And but I remember like it was it was a good relation. I
What do you
forget
think
what
drew
like
you to her specifically? When it sounds like you could have had your pick of the fucking litter. Um, you're
no,
coming in here like, who wants to date me?
who wants
Um,
me in my Irish accent?
exactly. I'm foreign and interesting. But yeah, what was
No.
it? What was she like?
She was what did I even like about her? She was
This is always the
nice and
question. She was nice
she was nice and
and
she was
pretty.
pretty and that's about it. No,
She
I feel
responded
like
to his
it's
attention. How were you like? What was your game like? You know,
man,
were you going
I
in
ain't got
being
no
like, I'm
game.
about to make her my girlfriend? She doesn't even.
Not even. I feel like it was like I don't even know. I don't even I feel like till this day I'm like I don't believe in game. I don't I feel like I'm just like, hey, what's up? Hey,
You
you're
were just
cool,
like,
you're
hey, what's
nice.
up?
Hey,
Some could say I said, hey, what's up to others in the past, and it didn't seem to work out for me like that. No, that's probably not even true at all. I know I definitely was not like, hey, what's up? I was probably like, hi, what's how's it going? I screamed. Sorry. But
I don't even know. Like for me, it's like with that relationship, it's like I don't even really remember like how it happened or how it came together. I remember more so the how it ended,
how did it
and
end?
which was so middle school. I think because there was like a whole thing. She had like a jealous ex-boyfriend already. And
Mm,
he was like and this is the thing about moving to America.
okay.
Why are the children here adults?
Big.
Why are the children like everyone was like muscular and buff
Dude,
and
it's sort
like
of like when they're big, they're
the
big.
food.
When they're little,
Yeah,
they're little, but when they're big, they're big.
yeah. It was really like in the movies where it's like, oh, why does everyone look like they're 30? And like kids were like on steroids and stuff, like especially the athletes, like the way they train athletes here at a
Oh yeah.
young age. Like y'all train your kids for the pros, like for the NFL, like from the age of 3. Like I
Hello,
remember,
because they're like people are like, this is how I'll this is the American dream. Maybe I
yep,
can not be poor if I am a part of the horrible sports organization that will work me to the
exactly. It's
bone.
literally Hunger
It
Games, like
literally is.
prepping your representatives for your district from the age of
Unfortunately,
3.
literally everything we could ever discuss does tie back to capitalism is the problem. It is
Yep.
true.
Yep.
But
No, because I
so these
remember like,
they're jacked.
yeah,
You're
crazy,
like, I'm an
crazy,
artist.
crazy. And yeah, literally. And so her ex-boyfriend was like this big buff dude who was like a football player and stuff. And he was always jealous. And like there was always rumors like he wants to beat your ass. But one of my best friends at the time was like this really cool kid who was like I think by now he's been in and out of jail like crazy and like
Mhm.
was probably in gangs and all that stuff. But
Sure.
at the time I was like, I got this guy on my side.
Yeah.
What's up? The thing about my childhood is like I always befriended like the really, really, really tough guy that everyone's afraid of. Like everywhere that I went, the dude that everyone's afraid of for some reason is like really nice to me and like just my friend.
Interesting.
And
Huh.
so it was
Maybe because you knew that you were
but
an
never,
artist,
but
you weren't
never,
trying to
but
be anybody but yourself.
I'm
Maybe.
just being a guy,
Yeah.
because I find I find that the really really tough scary guy actually just really likes really quirky little things as well. Like
Sure. It's like, oh, and everybody
and
loves anime or whatever.
yep,
Like you
yep,
just find out whatever.
yep. But I never befriended like the evil person. That's the thing.
That's
It's
good.
like you befriend the scary tough person, not the evil crazy dude.
These are the life
There's
hacks.
there's a barrier. But
Absolutely.
like so I was protected. But anyways, so like we eventually broke up and like I remember the way that we broke up was someone told me that she wanted to break up with me. So I
You're
was
like,
like, I gotta break up with her
oh,
before she breaks up
really?
with me.
Yeah.
And I think it was like because she wants to get, I mean, maybe something about her wanting to get back with her ex. I don't know what the reason was, but I needed
Her
to end
ex
it
was
before
like,
she
I'm
ended
gonna
it with
beat him
me.
up if you don't get back with me. She's like, I have to
He's
save his
gonna die.
life. Yeah.
So I ended it with her. Then she
Drama.
cried, was super sad, and this and that. And then the next day, like tried to get back with me. We get back together. Then she breaks up with me the same day, and
Oh
I was
my
like,
god. So
oh,
she just wanted to flip it
oh,
and reverse it.
yeah,
She was like,
exactly,
this was not how it was supposed to go down. Someone leaked her
yeah.
plans.
No,
Dang.
literally.
But it's funny that
So
that you took her back. Why do you think that
yeah,
well,
yeah.
you're a dreamer, you're a hopeless romantic?
Yep. Back in that day, it was like I believe in working things out and figuring it out, and blah 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 blah. And you gotta work it out till death do us part. And
Absolutely.
but that also, I don't know, that was like a lesson in like calm down and like also I think just like relationships with like he said, she said, outside voices.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm like the way that I deal with relationships now is very much just like it's between me and my partner and like um I don't, especially the relationship I'm in now where it's like this I think is the most like private I've been about a relationship. And I think it's
Huh.
also because of the way that my life is becoming versus like
Yeah.
now my life is becoming, it's still early in my career, but like it's
You're
becoming
public.
more public.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's becoming more public. So it's like,
No, it's true. I mean, like,
you
I
know,
didn't know you had a girlfriend. And well, because I was gonna say,
mhm,
like, it's funny, like growing in school is sort of the environment where everybody gets to be in your relationship and like
yeah.
it's out loud. And the thing is we haven't actually gotten rid of that. We've just replaced it with social media. Like
Hmm.
I do
Hmm.
know about people's relationships that I wouldn't know about because of
Yep.
social media, because of the high school that is, fucking
Yep.
Instagram. So, but if
That's
you're not
literally it.
consciously like posting that shit, why would I
Hmm.
know? And
Yeah.
why would
Yeah.
anyone know before this existed?
Yeah, and I feel like there's like for a lot of people, it's like they need the validation of like I gotta share in this and that, and like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a relationship where it's like it's not in a Drake sense of like hiding the world from my kid or whatever, but like it's it's very much like I don't know, we're just very comfortable with ourselves and like with our relationship, and we'll talk about our relationship to the people around us and everything. But like my personal life is very much like in my personal life, and my online stuff is
Yeah.
like that's my work, that's this, whatever. Like I'll post about personal things occasionally, but for the most part, I'm like, fuck Hollywood, fuck white people, fuck racism, you
Listen, you
know.
gotta you
So
gotta get out the important talking points up top.
exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of that does, I feel like that relationship, that breakup was like the seed of like,
Yeah, that
oh,
idea.
okay, one to one type thing. But then like I feel like the big formative, not formative, but like the relationship that I think had one of
The lasting
the
impact.
yeah, and like from like at young age is I remember it in high school when I moved to the diverse area with the Confederate flags.
Sure.
I there was this one girl. This is probably like my junior year of high school. No, sophomore year. I think sophomore year,
Hmm.
and the girl that I was into was a junior. We rode the same bus.
All right.
Yeah. And so we rode the same bus. And everything was great. She was I think I had seen her on the bus and throughout school for like throughout my time there.
Sure.
So it's from ninth grade and stuff. So I was like,
And her
wow,
vibe was
crush.
pretty.
Yeah, she was like. I feel like there's a lot. I feel like there's a. Yeah,
What?
I've dated a lot of like very much the opposite of where I'm at now. Like I feel like I've dated a lot of uh
Say it. Whatever you're not.
just
Say it.
I
No.
like I guess like not like just stereotypical like just I guess like stereotypically like the idea of just like woman just pretty woman just like soft girl soft
Pretty
pretty
woman.
soft pretty girl and
Like conventionally attractive, quote unquote, which I mean, and
convention
that is already
yes
problematic because we know who set that standard.
yes
But
yes
yes, we can acknowledge it as,
conventionally yeah not
some,
white yeah, and even the other girl was not white also. That was I've only actually dated like I think like I've only been in one relationship with a white person, and that
you
was like
heard
a
it here
junior.
first, folks. I got him this entire
Clip
episode.
it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip
Was a
it.
gotcha moment.
Play all my songs. Lies, lies.
Lies. I came
And
in
she
here as a
was
sting
Jewish.
operation. And she was Jewish.
So I was
Okay.
like, not, but again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's a spicy way. No.
We got to get over that.
It
Whatever.
was, but that was like when I was like 16,
Sure.
16 or something for like a year.
But this girl
And
was not white.
so, but the first girl that I mentioned, that was like a black and Hispanic girl. This
Mm.
girl was a Hispanic. I think she was Mexican.
Mm.
And so, yeah. But yeah, just classic, just
I'm a
girl.
pretty
And
girl. That's her life.
yeah,
She wakes up in the morning. She goes, "I'm a pretty girl."
pretty
That's
much,
how I
pretty
expected it.
much.
That's like what I think it's like for those girls specifically.
Pretty much. And I mean, it's not to say that, like, I mean, the girl that I'm dating now is like, she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's a goddess, she's a
She's the most
queen.
beautiful girl in the world.
But also, like, I think aligns with even like me where I'm at now, where it's like, I feel like in my life, like, uh, I'm traditional and non-traditional. But I feel like I don't know. I'm always like, I don't want to be with just like, I want to be like a fully rounded person. Like,
Sure.
I got to be with someone who, like, she's very feminine, but also has like her very masculine traits as well. Just like how
Yeah.
with me, it's like, a lot of straight people look at me like you're gay, and I'm like, no, gay people look at me like you're
Yeah.
straight. And so it's like but it's just like
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with myself where it's like if you see me on stage, it's like I'm talking about sexuality. I'm talking about sucking dick. I've never sucked a dick, but I question the idea of like what makes someone a man and straight and this
Right,
and that. Like
right.
I'll wear women's clothes. I'll
Straight
wear
men
whatever. Like
can talk about sucking dick, okay?
exactly.
Legalize
It
it.
is okay.
It's
Like, and I think
okay.
that's also like even my name. Like I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. Like for a lot of dudes, it's like, I'm not calling you that, that's gay. And I'm like, but
That's
I
that
did say
says
whisper
so
it
much
in my
more
ear.
about you that you think it's too
Exactly.
gay, you know?
Exactly. It's like you say my
People are
name and you
always
think
telling
of
on
two dudes
themselves.
sucking dick. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like, why
Like
does your
what? You want
mind
me to
go
call
to
you daddy? Next thing you want me to do is suck your dick and I'm a man? How what the hell?
it's like this like like for dudes, it's like the road to homosexuality is a slippery slope between
It's
like
so
just
easy.
saying the simplest thing to, oh, I'm sucking your dick now.
They're
I'm sucking
always
your
thinking about
dick.
sucking dick. Nobody's thinking about sucking
Exactly.
dick more than straight men. And I do that with
Literally,
quotes.
literally straight the way they think about like a question, like I don't know, like yeah, no, straight dudes are in too many other people's business and question. Like it's so funny how like even growing up, like people always question like, so wait, like so how do gay people have sex? Like how do trans people have sex? What do how do blah,
Right.
blah, blah, like why do you care so much about like what other people are doing when it's like how do you have sex? Okay, because
Because
your girl
also,
ain't
well,
satisfied.
I do think a lot of people, it's funny. I had Allison O'Connor. You know Allison O'Connor
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
show?
yeah,
We
yeah.
we were
She's a
talking
homie.
about like in the idea of like sexuality and orientation is
Hmm.
like we were talking about getting changed in a room of girls and
Hmm.
people being like does everybody think I'm looking at them, does everybody think I'm looking at their boobs, and it's
Hmm.
like the people who are really really straight, no, they're not thinking like that, they're not thinking like that. Like
Hmm.
when you are thinking about it so much, there's a reason.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it is.
yeah.
If you're like, I do think that, and I mean, this is not a blanket statement for all of
Hmm.
these people, right?
Hmm.
But I'm like, so many MAGA ass, conservative
Hmm.
ass. I am from Miami.
Yeah.
Machismo, Latin men,
Hmm.
repressed,
Hmm.
homophobia ass people are like, you're so curious about how trans people have sex because you want to fuck a trans person or
Yep,
something
yep,
to like that.
yep. It's like, oh,
Nobody
I want to
cares
try that out.
that much. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
like it's just so obvious, and God, if we could all just come together
Yeah.
and just
It's
get
like
over it.
we don't talk about vegan cuisine like the way we talk about like about gay sex. It's
I don't
like
care
you just
about
say,
that.
okay, that's what they eat. Okay, cool, whatever. Like you're not
Exactly,
like no, but like
exactly.
but how do they make their chicken? No, but what does it taste like?
You
But
know
what?
what?
No, no, no. But
That's
what?
like actually a perfect analogy, I think.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
if
like
you're
if
not curious because that's not your lifestyle, you're not thinking about it, you
yep,
know?
it's like the most that you say is like, okay, that's not my thing, or it's weird, or whatever, and you're like, I'm gonna go eat a burger because that shit's delicious. So
Right.
if you're
That's what
so
tastes good to me.
straight,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're so straight, then why are you thinking about what makes you horny instead of like thinking about what makes others horny and like trying to understand and like classify all that
Well,
stuff?
and I do think a lot of people are trying to figure out what makes them horny, and they're doing it from a place of hate because they're scared.
Exactly,
They're so scared to be
exactly.
horny about the wrong thing.
Yeah. Versus like it's like I remember like when I got out of and I know I'm sorry I jump around
No,
so
this
much.
I'm having an amazing time. I
I
think this
talk
is
in
perfect.
circles.
Me too.
But
I
like
am
okay.
undiagnosed something probably.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always like I talk in circles but it connects at some
Exactly.
point, okay?
Yeah.
It's like it's just one long oh
For
whoop
the
there we are.
journey.
But like I remember like I was in a 7-year relationship up until like I think that ended like from like college till like maybe 2023 or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2022, 2023. And I remember I what was I gonna say?
Yeah, we're talking about
That like
sexuality. Yeah.
getting out of that relationship also made me like I remember I was like, yeah, I'm it made me question like, okay, what do I want? Like whether like do I want an open relationship? Do I want to I don't think I've ever really questioned like um I've never really questioned the idea of like, am I attracted to men or like the same sex or whatever.
Yeah.
I, I'm like, but I question like, okay, what do I want out of a relationship? Like sexually, what do I want romantically? What do I want, in the
Like the structure
responsibilities and
of
all
it. Yeah,
this, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that really made me, because I was like, yeah, after being in something for 7 years, especially with the mindset of like traditional
Mm, next
relationship,
step is
especially
this.
immigrant
Right.
relationship, yeah, so that really put me in a position of like, let me question, let me explore, let me see what I'm into. But I feel like a lot of people are afraid of questioning like what a relationship is supposed to be, what love is supposed to be, because they're
Right.
just like, nope, this is what it is, and that's what I've been told, and that's it, and then anything else is wrong. That's the devil. That's
Totally.
evil.
Totally.
Like I'm like, dude, maybe you might be into a dude. Maybe you might be into this. Maybe you might be into that. Maybe you want to dress a little differently. Maybe you
Right.
want to like, maybe your responsibilities. I don't know. Like, I think you have to move with less fear and more of like curiosity, because like how we're
Absolutely.
saying, like a lot of these people are curious, but the fear is holding them back from being curious in an open way. It's just
Right.
like,
Then
I'm
it
curious,
just
but nah, that's wrong.
yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
that's wrong, and I want to know, but I don't want to know. Like,
Well, and it's funny because it's like people don't realize like you can broaden your horizons and your understandings of things without like adopting them per se. Like I've
yeah.
talked about this on the show before a little bit, how in like 2020 to 2022 ish, whatever, part of like the community I was in, there were some people who were like relationship anarchists, like in a real way, like practicing fucking
Mhm.
anarchists, and we would talk about relationship anarchy and like what it means to really strip the idea of property like from your
Mhm.
dynamics like
Mhm.
socially, where it's like you're not my anything, we are people in this little, and I learned a lot from those people. Like, do I think that
Mhm.
I'm a relationship anarchist and I can do it with like no defined whatever like labels in
Mhm.
that like I'm used to right now? Not necessarily, but I do think
Yeah.
relationship anarchy has like 100% changed my perspective on how
Mhm.
we treat each other and like how we
Yeah.
are in relationship with each other. And that was
Yeah.
just like by being curious and being around them and whatever, and like
Mhm.
and being in relationship with them because I saw how they were in relationship with each other and with me and
Mhm.
whatever. And yeah, I'm like, I don't have to be a relationship anarchist to have that have positively influenced my understanding of relationships. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
become it. Just when you
Mhm.
read something, you don't become it. You're not automatically a
Yeah.
gay person just
Yeah.
because you like talk to a gay person.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. I remember like for me it's like when I was in college, I took a lot of like gender studies classes, and it wasn't even like,
Mm,
it started out just by accident, or not by accident, but just like no choice, because I
yeah.
literally I remember like when you gotta submit, I don't know how it is at other schools, but for us, it was like when you gotta pick your classes for the next semester, like you get
Hmm.
a window of time where, okay, you're open, you can submit what you
Right. Right.
want.
Right. If you're too
And
late for something.
yeah, and I remember like on the first time, like going into freshman year, like the summer going into freshman year, the day that it was time to submit my classes that I had picked out, I was like, okay, like it's at noon. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go take a shower real quick, and I'll come submit it once it's open. I think I got out the shower at like 12:01 or something, and I went to click, and everything was gone. All
Wow.
classes were full, and I was like, oh shit. So I had to redo my whole schedule and find new things. And so I'm kind of like just looking at all the leftovers. And
Mhm.
one of the classes that I chose for like my non-film class was it was called Medieval Misogyny. And I was like, "Oh,
Ooh.
what's that? Like that seems interesting." And so I just clicked on it, and I was like, "Oh, cool, studying misogyny and like, gender studies from like the from Genesis to like the medieval
Historical.
period." And
Yeah.
so I was like, "Okay, I'll do that. Let me just try that." And so it was like the first class for me where, or not even class, but really like one of the first times where I was in a space and I'm not the minority. I'm not the
Mm.
oppressed group. Like it's like I'm a black man,
Sure.
but I'm like a cisgender straight black man in this room full of like women, queer people, so I'm kind of like
People who
I'm
chose that class and it wasn't the leftover.
yeah. Like people who
Absolutely.
were like, I
Yeah,
really want to be here. Like I'm
totally.
excited about this. And I
That's
was
fate,
like
though. That's
interested.
awesome. That's a cool
Yeah.
thing to end up doing.
Yeah, because I mean, it put me on. It opened like because I think before that, like I was always interested in like I was I think I took like psychology classes and stuff where we talked in high school.
As
So
every
like
artistically inclined
AP,
person was
yeah,
like, well, I guess
we
I'll
all
do
took
AP
AP
Psych.
Psych.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And like in there was like a few conversations around like gender and around like societal norms, but like nothing super in depth. But then like with this class, it was the beginning of like truly talking about difference beyond just like blackness, beyond like my difference,
Right.
and talking about like talking about misogyny, talking about queerness, talking about all this stuff, and seeing it from especially medieval misogyny, where it's like Genesis being like one of the foundations of like a lot of society, like
Mm,
Adam and Eve being like the foundation of a lot of like societal conversations and like structures.
yeah. Still
So
to
because
this
everyone's like,
day,
it's not Adam and Steve, it's Adam and Eve,
it's isn't that nuts to think about? Like
yeah,
how many years, man,
yeah,
these baddies, Adam and Eve, they
yeah,
really were had staying power, I guess. Because
yeah,
holy shit.
literally. I'm like, they really set a precedent. But like,
Yeah.
that class opened up, set me on the path of like every semester, every year, I was taking another gender studies class or,
Mm,
some kind of class that was questioning like gender norms, relationships, and
totally.
and it was like, okay, like I'm learning about all this gay shit. I'm learning about all this other shit. And it's like, it doesn't mean like, okay, I'm gonna do this, whatever. But it's like, but learning all these different walks of lives and also what has created the societal view of these things, so
Right.
that it's like I'm starting to I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning why I think the way I think. I'm questioning why things are the way they are.
Mm.
And then you do with that information what you want to do with that information.
Yeah, it
It's
becomes a
not,
part of you.
yeah. So that's where for me, I'm like, I love learning from all different sources, even sources that I disagree with, whether it's like studying conservatives, studying like
Mhm.
Republicans, and like listening to them on their platforms and on like their in their safe spaces,
And their silos. I think about the
Yeah.
silos all the time. The conversations that I've had with people where it's
hmm
so clear that we live in different worlds on these little
Yeah.
fucking rectangle shits. But
Yeah.
it's true. It's like, okay, you can know that and be like, well, my silo's better,
Yeah. Yeah.
and more right. Or you can like
Yeah.
do something with that information.
Yeah.
Like it
And
does. It's intersectionality
yeah.
being. It's
Yeah.
funny because people talk about intersectionality like on an activist like standpoint, like
hmm
solidarity and yeah, that is literally vital. It's the only way we get
hmm
free. But it's like also intersectionality on a personal level, like a personal
Yeah.
level of how much shit do you know about? And is it all the same shit? Because
hmm
that's not also helping you move in a way that's going to be like informed towards the rest of the world, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm like I think there's like, there's times where you have to engage with things that you disagree with for to combat it and to, debate. But then there's also times where it's like, I am just taking this in. I'm listening. I'm trying to understand a different view. It doesn't mean that I agree with it, but I'm trying to gain a perspective.
Yeah.
Because that can also inform your argument or your education,
A
But if
hundred
you're just
percent.
speaking from one side and you don't know nothing else, then it's like, have you just been force-fed propaganda? Or like,
Right, right. It's
so
true. We have
for
to be
me, it's like,
battling it on all fronts,
yeah, I'm always like I want to question everything. I know where I stand, but I want to be a little open to hearing different sides. And again, even going back to romance,
Yeah.
I think for a lot of dudes, it's like, And again, when you're in the position of, the oppressor, in the sense of like stance in society or whatever, like of course you're not going to go out of your way to question like your norm or like to read something that might be a different perspective. But that's also why like it's like for a lot of straight dudes, like you're confused why like women hate men or like why society has this view of men or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, well, I'm a good one, blah blah blah. But it's like, but have you actually, I don't know, read anything? Have you not even read? Have you
Right.
just like listened? Like, because that's the thing for me when I was in like in these gender studies classes, it's
Mhm.
like whether you're reading the information or not, you're being put in these environments where you're hearing a new conversation that you don't
Yeah.
hear all the time in your regular everyday spaces. So I'm having a new norm that's now making me question like, oh, so what is right, what's wrong, what is normal,
Mhm.
versus just what am I conditioned to. Even now with like I had another friend who was like who posted a video of just like how and I think everyone's having their conversations around like the Epstein list, around like
I was about to bring it up. Oh my
are
God.
we supposed to like who's
Yeah.
supposed to joke about it, like what's the benefit of jokes, or like
Mm.
or even just seeing like all these men on this list. And like, I feel like in college, even though I remember hearing, people always say this, but like, a lot of, I'm gonna butcher it
You got it.
because I don't, because I'm bad at listening to women. But no, I'm kidding. But like, like people always say like a lot of men know women who have been something about like a lot of women, like every woman's been abused, and a lot of
Right.
men know a woman who's been abused,
Yes.
but everyone's surprised when you discover who is an
There's
abuser.
abuse.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like, dude, yeah, like
Someone's
hang out
doing
with a
the
lot of your
abusing.
hmm
Yeah.
like start looking at your friends differently. Start looking at the things that we joke about, or like, the conversations that are just like, oh yeah, that's just she's being crazy or whatever. Like
No.
no, your friends are crazy and the men around you are nuts. And so yeah, men are
It's like we're
dumb.
in an
And
interesting place with it, especially I think being the ages that we are, where
yeah.
it's like, so we went through the first Me Too and
Hmm.
everyone had their little moment with the Me Too. And you may have had friends canceled and not.
Hmm.
I'm like, I
Hmm.
definitely, they're, so not everyone survived the Me
Yep,
Too,
yep, yep.
But it's funny how I'm not going to say that there was like, I'm not going to say there wasn't progress with that.
Hmm.
I do think that there's a certain amount of people who did hopefully understand and wake up to the fact that like
Hmm.
this is a prevalent like thing and hashtag me too. Um,
Hmm.
but obviously the pendulum swinging, back and forth.
Yeah,
And now we're
yeah.
sort of back on like, as Hassan Piker would put it, like woke 2.0.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it's interesting on the Epstein list of it all.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see the reflection of that because it's like, okay, now we have the files. I
Hmm.
mean, we did have thousands of reports of women saying for years that this was happening.
Yeah,
And like, especially
yeah.
seeing people watch these videos of like this woman, Maria Jimenez, I think was her name,
Hmm.
like women crying, talking about like they're
Yeah.
eating babies and whatever. And just, the reliance on the idea of like female hysteria and like how that has all,
Yeah.
of course you think living now, you're like, well, obviously it's not as bad as it has been for women, we're like in an evolved point, but no, but also
You
very
can say
much
that with
not
any group of
really.
people. You can
It's
say
just
that with any group
different.
of people. It's never been better to be a
Right.
black person. It's
No.
never been better. But it's like I always say, like I feel like black comedians always joke about like time travel being a white people thing because no one wants to
Right.
travel into the past. Like for black people, you always want to go to the
To
future.
the
Even you
future.
want to leave where you're at right now because it might be better in
Yeah.
20 years, in 100 years, whatever. That's with all groups that have been oppressed since the beginning of time.
Right.
So
But it's funny how we
yeah, I
know
mean,
that, but we also aren't like, it's not that we aren't, but it's like, okay, we have to realize but to get to the future, we have to do something now.
You gotta reckon with the past in the present to get to the future. But everyone's like, no, it's gonna come. It's coming. It's like waiting for Jesus to come back.
Exactly. Like when I'm in the future, it's over for these hoes. When I've eradicated oppression, it's over for these hoes. Like, for sure. It will be better if we do something.
I saw a TikTok. I hate to be like, I saw a TikTok, but
we are all seeing TikToks. I did see.
Yeah, no, but there was this TikTok that was like liberals are kind of like crazy evangelists now, like with like how like evangelists are like waiting for the rapture and stuff. Like the rapture's coming, we're gonna be saved and everything's gonna da. And that's how we are with like change and like progress.
Just like this idea.
Like, it's like everyone wants to see like the end. Like, okay, like when fascism is abolished, ICE abolished, all this post like progress and this and that. But like, what about the everyday actions and steps that we need to do right now?
It's true.
On a macro level, on the micro level too. You know, that like even just like ways of thinking or like just rallying like your local community and stuff. Like everyone's so focused on like these big things, which is important. But in order to get to the big shit, you got, it's like I was studying like I was watching the interview of like Zoran's communications director, and he was talking about how like, you know, Zoran's campaign was it's a crazy big thing to pull off, especially in New York, especially in these times. And they were like, the main thing that they did was like focus on like clear messaging where it's like, okay, we're going to boil this campaign down to like 3 things, you know, affordability, housing, affordability, all that shit, and funnel everything else through that. And so that's what makes the campaign more actionable, where it's like, okay, people are voting for someone and they're getting exactly what they voted for. It's not like, I'm going to fix the economy and I'm going to balance the budget and this and racial and It's like, because then it's like, that's how we get lost in like this whole mix of like, oh, well, we got to get this and this and this and this and this and this.
And frankly, it has to be said, but it's like, it's not, he didn't originate it, but
no.
Obama, like, hope, change, this idea of like, be galvanized towards this word, hope.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily tied to any of these real actions, but like that's so seductive to just be like, I'm going to vote for Obama because I believe in hope. Of course you believe in hope. You know, I also hoped.
But now I think where Zoran's taking it a little bit of a step further is like, okay,
but no, that's the difference. Is I think there's actionable things, right? Whereas like Obama was like hope and also
change. Yes, we can. But it's like Obama's platform was basically just like, I'm gonna say Obama's platform was basically like MAGA, where it's like make America great again. What does that mean? It's like, it's a great slogan that can mean anything to whoever applies it.
Exactly.
Just like with yes we can change, like yes, we can. Like for Black people, yes, we can. For gay people, yes, we can. For women, yes, we can. But like, yes, we can what? Like, you know?
Yes, we can. Si se puede. Yes, we can.
We can do it. We can do it. Versus with Zoran, it's like every day I could just Google Zoran and I see Zoran did this specific thing. Zoran just made childcare affordable. Zoran's like bringing the tenants and landlord conversations. You know, doing a tour, like going to different boroughs, like, you know, where it's like, and leading to an actual action where it's like, okay, this bill is gonna be passed. This thing's gonna happen. You know, like literally since day one, it's just like, oh wow, a politician that can just do things and get things done. Cool. So I think that's where
that's why they're so threatened by him in the same way that they're threatened by Cuba, you know, because it's just asserting autonomy, right? They don't want you to do that. Don't do that.
They want to leave it as like, because like Americans aren't trying to, like, even if they're like Cuba's broken and it's like they're not trying to fix it. They're like, let's just keep saying Cuba's got a problem and Cuba's got a problem and let's leave it like that. And we're gonna keep pointing out the problem and we're gonna suggest fixes. We're never really gonna do anything, you know, versus like people that actually want to okay, we're gonna run our country. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fix things the way that we see fit, and we're gonna challenge America.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And they're like, okay, well then we're gonna sanction and block the fuck out of you for the
Yeah.
next 1,000 years, and then we're
Tiny
gonna
little
say
island.
that you're the reason why your place is fucked up, not the shit that we're doing to make it fucked up.
It's so crazy. Just but the battle of like the information. But you did say something that reminded me like
Mhm.
I think people are attached to these big ideas and they're
Mhm.
less like committed to the because I'm like ideas and thoughts and feelings are huge. They do move you in
Yeah.
the ways that you're going to be moved.
Mhm.
And I think I've been thinking about a lot lately, and we're gonna get back to crushes.
Oh, I was
To your
gonna
crush.
connect
We're gonna
exactly what you're
connect it
talking about
after
to
this.
crush.
But
Yeah.
a thing that I've thought about a lot lately, I've been literally so embarrassing to say. I've been working on a reel that I've gone back and forth about posting or not. And now I'm just going to say what I've been talking about in that reel. Maybe this will be the reel.
Yeah.
Where like I've heard and seen and been in a little bit of conversations in these leftist circles about like, basically like, okay, this was the timeline of events, right? Renee Good, Alex Preddy murdered, Keith Porter murdered. This is exactly the point. Like all the white people and get like galvanized about like ICE in this way, right? You have the horrible tweets and things of people being like, can we just go back to regular police brutality
Yeah.
where everybody's showing their absolute huge ass, you know?
Yeah.
You're showing your huge ass and it's not a nice one, by the way. And this being the conversation of like people being like, okay, sure, yes, it's true that it's kind of racist that, and not when I say kind of, I mean it is. Yes, it's true that Black people have been being executed by the state for our entire lives for hundreds of years. You know, we know the history of the Native Americans and the indigenous. Like, but people don't want to point that out right now because they're like, basically, we need numbers, and we can't we can't make the white people feel uncomfortable by the fact that they weren't numbers before. And this leftist, this idea of leftist infighting and identity politics. I'm doing all of this with finger quotes for people who are only listening.
Yeah.
And I just have
like,
a
quit.
real fucking problem with that. Like, what are we talking about? It is literally not leftist infighting to hold each other to the standard of anti-racism. Like, it's not
accountability.
Exactly. The accountability. You have to be accountable to like that anti-blackness. And this is where I'm like on the idea of the comfort and the ideas. Because it's okay. Now, what's actionable about that? What's actionable is the white people who took a long ass time and who reacted to Renee Good and not Keith Porter, who reacted to Renee Good and not Breonna Taylor. Like, don't get me fucking started. Sit in it. Be uncomfortable by the fact that people know that that was racist of you. Okay. We're not going to act like it's not racist. It is. Feel fucked up about that. And then move forward because people want to galvanize numbers before skipping that step. And for me, I'm like, especially in the context of the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Brother, this is white supremacy in action. White supremacy and capitalism entwined in action. It's counterintuitive to not address the racism of this if we're going to attack this.
Yeah, I mean,
this needs to be. I don't know. I'm sure other people have said it, and it's a funny thing because I'm like, I've literally thought about. I'm like, is it my place? I'm not Black. I don't know. I'm fucking Latina, but I'm like, but I see it, and it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off that it's. Don't call me leftist infighting. Just don't be racist.
I mean, it's like I feel like I saw a video the other day of I think it was I think Neil Brennan, the comedian. Yeah, he was. I don't want to quote him because I didn't watch the full video, but I've seen other videos. I've seen videos in general where people, and not even just recently, but like just every time there's like conversations around. People will be like, guys, stop shaming those who were on the wrong side, who left and came back. We have to embrace them and bring them in. I'm like,
you want me to sleep with the enemy? It's like,
Exactly.
and also it's like, it's not to say that you will never be embraced, but I'm not going to embrace you if you're being racist.
Exactly. And it's also
if you haven't done that thing.
yeah, because it's like, well, what's gonna stop this person from just doing the same thing again if they're still, because it's like, it's cool that they're coming to the other side, but they're not coming to it for the right reasons. They're coming at it now because, oh, this affects me, not because this is just wrong. It's like,
Right.
yeah, you got to hold people accountable because this is also education for them and also just making sure that your numbers are truly aligned and loyal because I
Yeah.
mean, look at we've seen movements be crumbled because the outside was able to get to the weak link and
Mhm.
switch that up. Whether it's COINTELPRO, whether it's like
Yeah.
how the civil rights movements or the Panthers or just any movement can be co-opted when the people within the movement are not truly there for the right reasons and aware of why they're there and loyal to the whole cause, then it's easy for it to be flimsy. We got to be like, I don't know, I'm bad with my history right now, but I don't know if it was it world was it I remember like I don't know if it was Japan, but
Mhm.
why the America had so much trouble getting through to Japan or even just in general whenever America's had trouble defeating countries in the east, a
Mhm.
lot of times it's because of how far apart we are from each other and how outside America is from their people,
Right.
whether it's culture, language barriers or whatever, but especially when for so long when China was like, we don't fuck with the rest of the world. We are China. We only
Right.
fuck with China. If you want to get in here and fuck
Yeah.
our shit up, you have to be one of us.
Yeah.
So you got to keep it's not just about having numbers. It's about having like true solidarity.
Well, and that's the thing. I think it's like the solidarity is everything, right? Where you know what I would rather do leftist infighting about is about these like fucking books. Like leftists, like being aligned in your purpose does not need to mean that like everybody's read fucking Marx or everybody's read XYZ. Because all of
No.
these, frankly, let's say like white DSA folks, it's like, brother, they love to talk about the books. They love to talk about books, but like, who do you know? Like, what people are
Mm-hmm.
like, that book is
Mm-hmm.
going to be a shield when it comes down to
Yep.
it. Like that book is going,
Yeah.
and that's not to say that
Yeah.
your theory and studies are like not important. I think that everyone has roles, and I think that like educators should be educating, but you don't have to be on the same intellectual like plane of like knowing this book or that book or whatever to be
Mm-hmm.
aligned. But the solidarity comes with like the fact that you have to look at the system and you have to look that and say white supremacy is undeniable to the system.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you don't, and that's where I'm like, I'm an abolitionist. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
self-identify if I have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like communist this, socialist this, democratic socialist this, I don't fucking know. But I
Yeah.
know what I'm about, and I know like the people that I need to be aligned with, and that my ideology is not dangerous to their ideology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is where I'm like, I start whispering. I've been screaming this whole time and I start whispering now. This is where I think this is a really important time. We've been living through important times, of course. But the conversation of abolishing ICE is such an important one because of how some, and I'm trying to not bully, but dumbasses are trying to be like, but the police should protect us from ICE. No, 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 no. They're the same. They're the same. So I'm like,
We need the police to start arresting ICE. Like ICE got police on their chest now.
it's crazy. I'm like, you think that they're not off? You're crazy. But it's
Yeah.
like, I bet if you really did and this is the thing that I remember going around in 2020, and like, I'll admit it, I'll say, I'm sure I was the young, annoying person who didn't know shit about shit in spaces before, and I still have a lot of
That's
things to learn.
and that's fine though, but that's and
Right.
sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
feel like that's something that people are afraid of sometimes where it's like, I don't want to speak out, I don't want to say because I might be
Exactly.
wrong, blah blah. But it's like we're constantly gonna be learning. Like there's shit that I'm probably saying on this
Oh my
conversation
God. You
that in
think that
5 years I'm gonna look back and cringe and be like, oh, I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
here's the thing. I'm like, you think I haven't embarrassed myself
Hmm.
many times in life, embarrassed myself in front of a bunch of black people in the
Yep.
process of trying to learn?
Yep.
Of course I have. And I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, embarrassing, feels bad to be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yep.
You move on, you try to learn
Exactly.
better,
You learn because it's the same with like people being like, I would say like people, a lot of white people are more afraid to get called racist than actually being
being
racist
racist,
because it's
right?
like if you do something and someone says that's racist, all you gotta do is acknowledge, apologize, learn, and move forward. When
Right.
you defend and be like, no, I'm not, blah, 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 no, you just don't understand me, blah blah blah, blah, that's where you fuck up. It's same with, and I'll go back to crushes and sorry, and
Yes.
I'm not
And we're
interrupting what
doing
you were
it
saying, but
amazing.
like even with relationships, like so many times where like people focus more on being right than actually understanding like did you hurt someone, did you do something wrong, like
Yes.
are you trying to just like heal and like because people argue when like when when both sides don't feel heard, then no one's listening and you're just yelling over each other versus
Mhm.
like, all right, you're upset. Let me understand why. I know you obviously know why you don't think you upset that person, but try stepping out of your shoes and see that person's side. And you can even just apologize, even if you don't agree. You can still just acknowledge and affirm someone's feelings. So,
Right.
in all of it, like it's all relationships at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Everything.
Exactly.
It's all relationships. It's all just learning and understanding like how to deal with people, whether it's like revolution, whether it's romance, whatever. It's
Mhm.
just can we actually listen to each other,
Well, yeah.
learn from each other, and yeah.
This has really been the theme of this season is like the idea, I think, of like listening and seeing each other. Just like,
Mhm.
do you see me? Do
Mhm.
you believe me and my
Mhm.
experience? Because it's like
Yeah.
on the just and we're gonna go back to crushes, but like on the
Mhm.
ice and the abolish the police of it all, I'm just
Yeah.
like, if all of these people start to look at the racism of
Yep.
the fact that, black people have been killed by the state in front
Mhm.
of us forever, and realize, like, if you start to actually, okay, so you see that, okay, I was racist for not like recognizing that, okay, that sucks,
Mhm.
but now, okay, I've recognized that the police have been killing black people this entire time. How can I, and then you go into the history of the police, you learn more about
Mhm.
that, whatever, if you want to,
Mhm.
if you are so inclined. You don't even have to. I would say you could just look at it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You can
Just
look at
look at
prison
today and
labor
say this
right
is
now.
wrong. This is it. Yeah.
Exactly. And understand that, like, once you actually see that, then it's like, well, of
Mhm.
course I don't want the police.
Yeah.
Well, of course I don't think the police are going to protect me from ICE. Like, it's
Mhm.
it's a matter of time if you follow the track that you find out, like, when you listen to people and their experiences. Yeah, the answer is there for you. The safety is not
Mhm.
within reach with the police. Safety is
Yeah.
in our relationships with each other. And yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that we could say that because
Yeah.
I do think people need to just, because I think in 2020 there was like a lot of talk of kill the cop in your mind, kill the
Yeah.
colonizer
Yeah.
in your mind. And I'm like, as corny as it sounds, and I'm not patting myself on the back, I hope that's not what it fucking sounds like. But I'm just like, I fucking did that. Or I really started to try. At the
Mhm.
very least, I started to really
Yeah.
try. And like, and sometimes I'm looking around, I'm saying, they didn't start. They didn't try.
Yeah. Because for a lot of
They
people,
went to a couple rah parades and then they went home,
yeah.
you
I mean,
know?
because that's the thing. It's like what you're saying before of like, there was one point that you were saying just about like, I mean, basically what we're talking about,
Mhm.
we're like, people focus on like the big ideas and all this and that, but like the everyday action isn't as interesting because it's like, the idea of revolution or change is not cute. It's not cute. and people want it to be cute when it's like it's not
No,
gonna be
it's
cute. It's gonna be
embarrassing.
very
It's gross. It's dirty. It's
it's yep.
bloody.
It's uncomfortable. It's like you gotta reckon with yourself in a lot of ways as well, you know, because I think a lot of these that's why when people are talking about like, yeah, holding people accountable or like, you know, being tough on people who were on the wrong for so long isn't the thing right now. It's like, yes, it is. That's a part of the change. That's a part of the revolution. That's a part of like it's not just changing the law, it's changing everyone's individual thinking, what you think is normal, what you think is right, what you think is wrong.
What you think
So
justice is. Frankly, for me, it all goes back to
exactly.
that because it's like people love to think that when I want to abolish the police and I abolish prison, that means accountability goes out of the door. It's
Hmm.
like, no, no, no. Justice means fixing it now.
Yeah.
Justice means more people stay alive.
Yep.
Justice means
Yep.
actually accountability. And
Yeah.
it's easier to just put someone in jail and say that's accountability
Hmm.
rather than be like, hello, my friend. So you've been a little racist your whole life. Let's figure out how to do, like,
Yeah.
how are
Yeah.
we getting
Yeah.
out of that, brother? How are you
Yeah.
going to figure out the rest of
Yeah.
your life? You know?
Exactly. Because it's like, even if we want to talk about like the Epstein list and everything, it's like, okay, like right now we're in a time where, okay, the Epstein list has, we're getting everything, not everything, but even just with what we have, we've gotten it,
Right.
nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And we're looking at all these politicians and like, you know, governments and all these people in power to do something, which is important. But at the same time, like what we're talking about, it's like, what are we doing within our everyday circles, our everyday environments to see like, you
Yeah.
know, that Epstein shit doesn't just happen on those islands, right? Like
Right.
that shit is happening.
Whoa.
Like that shit is happening, and I don't just mean Epstein, but I mean like just abuse, assault, like
Abuse. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
being in any people being treated in people being taken advantage of. Like that shit is happening right around us. That shit is happening
People
everywhere. So
having
it's
their
like,
autonomy
yeah.
stripped from them. It's happening
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like as much as you want to get on like these powers, it's like are and I don't mean you like you, but I
Yeah.
mean like just individuals, it's like especially dudes, it's like what are you doing within the spaces that you navigate to make a difference? What are you doing in your everyday thinking, even in like
Mhm.
the media that you consume? Like question like, oh, this movie's about this. This artist like makes raps about this or whatever. Like this shit is not this shit is not right. We should not be embracing. Like it
Yeah.
goes down to the smallest, like change goes down to the smallest basic blocks of society. It's not just all in the big picture
Yeah.
because the big picture is just a combination of all the little things that we do. So they can go after everyone on the Epstein list, but that doesn't mean a new list isn't already being formed.
That doesn't
Like
change the fact that I've always grown up in a society where I knew that sexy schoolgirl was like a thing. Like I was thinking about that. I'm like,
exactly.
my entire life I've known that guys want to fuck little girls. Actually, I've actually literally
Yep.
known that
Yep.
because that's like
Yep.
the I remember being like 21 and being like, I'll wear my little skirt and my little like thigh high socks, giving sexy
Hmm.
schoolgirl. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fucked
Yeah,
up.
yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we all have to like it's like
Yeah.
we got to decolonize our minds. You know, like
Literally, and not just say
it's
it,
yeah,
but I guess we could say here, definitively, like it is literally tangible practice. Like it's not woo
yeah,
woo. It's actually every
yeah.
every time you think that someone deserves going to jail.
Mm,
Every time you say ICE is snatching up the people who
yeah,
make this city run. Imagine if they didn't. Do they still get to get murdered
yeah,
and captured? My
yeah,
lord, I didn't know I had to
yeah,
paint your
yeah.
fucking wall to be worthy. People are, and that's what's crazy is people are showing their asses right now. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you've shown it. I see it. Now let's take
Mhm.
it back.
Yeah, yep. It's really back a little bit,
Really
you know,
like it.
like
I'm saying it with love
yeah,
because I have to say it with love because I do have
yeah.
love and love. And now we're getting back to your crush. And it all comes back to love. Love is healing. Love is great.
It is.
So you came to your high school relationship with all of this perspective evolved. No.
Yeah, all of this. I knew every single thing.
Yeah.
No, I remember yeah, it was a girl that I had a crush on for a while, and then I forgot how we exactly connected. I don't know if we had a class or mutual friends that eventually
Mm.
aligned, but it started turning into a thing. Never became like a full relationship. It was always like it's like the beginning of like we're talking and like starting to
Mm,
hang out and go out and stuff.
yeah.
And then oh damn, now I'm realizing it's similar. Okay, then another it was
They usually
another
are.
dude.
Tell me.
So it was another
There's another
dude came
guy.
into the mix. So a dude that she used to see, I guess she was re-figuring out what was going on with them, but I didn't fully know.
Mm.
And so there was starting to be like just distance growing over time. And we all rode the same bus too, so it was even weirder.
What was this guy like? Do you feel
This
like he
guy
was
was
different from you?
Oh yeah, no, very different.
Very different.
He was like a white passing Middle Eastern man with a very like European vibe and stuff.
Interesting. You're
So
like,
it
well,
was
I'm Irish.
white supremacy
Yeah.
coming in
Yep.
and
Coming in hot,
taking
stealing your
over,
girl. That's the thing
colonizing
with
the
white
land.
supremacy. Steal your girl.
Literally. It's like, do I hate white people or am I just traumatized for personal experiences?
Both and
I mean
it's all
both.
the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same,
Yeah.
actually, in my opinion.
Literally. Literally. But I remember then there was just like a period where it's like we stopped sitting next to each other. Like she just wasn't sitting next to me on the bus, or sometimes she wasn't riding the bus at all.
Like,
And
this
like
is
and
my
I
life
just
now.
wasn't seeing her anymore. And then like but I'd be like texting her, like trying to see what's going on and this and that. And then one day at like I think it was like 11 p.m. or midnight or something, she texted me and she was like basically just explaining like it's a bit hard to explain right now what it is, but
Yeah.
the only way that I can make you understand is you have to listen to July by Drake. And
No way.
and since that day I've never liked Drake.
And you know what? And you've been on the right side of
Yep,
history.
yep, yep,
You've
yep,
been
yep,
on the
yep, yep.
right side of history, actually.
I knew something. I listened to the song and it was just about like seasons. It's like seasons changing and we had our
So
season
fun.
and this and that. Which was just bullshit. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, girl, just say you want another dude and like, just be
Right. She
straight up.
wasn't trying
And
to say it.
yeah. And I feel like that experience, I feel like that was like the last time. That was the
Mm.
last time I was heartbroken by anyone. And
You
from there
said
I
never
became a
again.
cold-hearted man. And
Yeah. Did you
no,
respond or did you just like take it? Like,
I I think I responded and I think I didn't cry. I wanted to cry, but it
yeah,
wouldn't come out. I went through a whole period of life where I couldn't cry
I'm
and
kind
not
of
by
in that right
choice.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I get really
maybe
close and then I'm like, let me do it. And then
finally
you know,
someone gets it. You might be
yeah.
dehydrated, which is what I learned. Um,
Dehydrated. Could
your
be.
body just isn't
Ever since
producing
I
any.
lost, no, literally, this is so dumb. But ever since I lost my Owala fucking water bottle, which I did lose, but that was the only thing that was single handedly the
Yup,
only thing that was keeping me
that's it.
hydrated. And now
You're not
nothing, nothing,
hydrated.
no
You're
tears
not
to cry.
hydrated. You're not hydrated. That's
So
all
you
it
wanted
is.
to cry,
Nah.
but it didn't come out. You needed
I
to drink
wanted to
more water.
cry,
Yeah,
didn't
but you
cry,
felt the
couldn't cry.
heartbreak.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That
Wow.
song triggers me not anymore, but for so long I would listen to that song like, no. Yeah, no, it was very much like I think the last time that I went through the experience of I mean, I think from there it was like a lot of the relationships that I was in I think anything that ended from there was like I ended
You
it.
ended it.
And
Oh, you're
and I
you're
don't
like
know if
literally
at
never
first
again.
like never again, no one's ever gonna break
Wow.
up with me. But it wasn't even that. It was more so like I think like my approach to relationships is like you should work on it, make the work things out, but at the
Mm.
same time don't waste your time when it's like, dude, this is not worth it. Whether it's like just general respect that's not being given
Mm.
or literally like you are not aligned, like leave,
Yes.
Like I feel like a lot of people stick around hoping that things will change when there's no again, actions,
Yeah, no proof
actionable.
in the pudding
Yeah,
of that. Yeah.
like versus again, I keep coming back to the relationship I'm in now, the relationship I'm in now, but I feel like I don't know. I look,
This is the point of the podcast is how did we get here?
yeah,
You know?
how do, yeah,
Yeah.
like for me where I'm at now, and this is a relationship that challenges me, and for good, where it's like, um, there's no, I feel like just that idea of like hoping that things will get better or like saying that things will
Mm.
get better with no actual plan is stupid because it's
Yeah.
like anything, it's like making a movie, it's like changing, trying to revolt again in
You have
society or
to
whatever,
do
like
a thing. You have to start.
yeah, we have to have conversations around like here's what we're gonna do, here's what we're not, here's what's not acceptable, here's what is acceptable. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, just I don't know,
Do you think a lot
truly
of that like comes from her, or is it something that you've just like grown into being able to like do more, feeling more confident in just like communication,
mhm.
or like, yeah, is it something that you've learned from her
I
or
think a
together?
mix of the two. I think a mix of the two because I'm also like, uh, I am learning. Well,
Mm.
I think I've known, but I'm also just, I don't know, just being more aware of like, where I don't communicate and I think because in my last relationship, like my last like, full
Yeah,
on relationship and everything, which was long term. I think like coming out of it, it was easy to just say what was wrong from the other side, but then with time, you also realize, oh, okay, oh, nope, whoa, 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 whoa,
six
whoa,
to the
whoa, whoa, whoa.
tango,
Yeah,
right?
like I am not perfect. I fucked up in a lot of ways, and a big thing for me was like, I remember like I journaled. I have like the same journal from like uh I don't journal a lot, but like when I do, like I don't go through multiple journals, but
Sure.
like I'll have like the same journal for a while. And so the journal that I had was like from like college, from like 2016 maybe. And so there were things in that journal that I was reading over. I was like, oh, this is something that I was upset about at the end of the relationship, which was there since the beginning. And I
Mm,
don't think I vocalized that. I didn't express this. And maybe, and
huge.
there's the question of like, oh, maybe things could have worked out or been differently if I would have communicated certain things. But at the same time,
Right.
I'm like, well, I maybe, but at the same time, you got to this point for a reason,
Right.
and not by coincidence. It's a mix of this and
But
everything
it's
else.
interesting to see
But
when you're like, oh, I guess this thing that I was feeling I never actually said. Like I've had
yeah,
that
yeah,
moment with people and situations where I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I would assume that they would know that I would feel this way, but why would I know
yep,
that? Or like,
yep, yep, yep.
yeah.
Exactly. So it's very much like me trying to be better where I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling something, I just gotta say it. I'm also getting over like people pleasing
Hmm.
tendencies, which for me I feel like I'm so not a people pleaser, but then like especially in my work and in like my public approach, but
Sure.
then in like my personal relationships, I think when I really care about people, it is
Of
easy for me
course.
to try to do for others. But again, it's like the whole thing of people pleasing is like you're not trying to please others, you're actually trying to, it's actually a selfish thing, you're
Yourself.
trying to please yourself,
Yeah, it's a
you know
validation thing.
yeah, so again, that's another thing,
We're all
just
afflicted. We're all afflicted
yeah,
to an extent.
but just trying to, yeah, working on those things where it's like, okay, yeah, if I'm feeling something, let me just express it, let me communicate it. But
Mm.
then also she's also on my ass in those areas of like, not so much about like express what you want, but she's someone who comes from like, she's very much like about actions, about like, it's not about what you say, it's about what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And so again, it just, yeah, it's like that. I think a combination of those things where it's like, okay, being with someone that's more action oriented, and then
Mm.
also coming out of my own tendencies of not expressing and people pleasing. So you put all those together, and it's like, yes, okay, we are about like results and making plans to get those results.
Totally.
So Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, you have to, yeah, you gotta do work towards the things you want. And it's not always gonna be easy. It's gonna be uncomfortable. And again,
Yeah.
going back to what I was saying about like whether it's racists or white people acknowledging like the things that they've done wrong in
Hmm.
a relationship, especially, it's
Mm.
easy to just look at like, well, I'm right, you're wrong, or you hurt me, and blah blah blah. But it's like
Yeah.
you gotta be willing to you have to really look at like it's about like everything is for the sake of the relationship and the bond and the unit that you're building. So
Yeah.
you have to put your ego aside. And for me, it's I tend to say a lot like I will do whatever it takes. I love you. I'm whatever you need, this and that. Like I will listen. But then it's like, okay, now you actually
I'll go
gotta
off.
listen and
I've heard
do it. It's
that, but
like,
go off. Do
yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not just say it, but actually like do it and like and
Yeah,
understand that like when you're wrong, you're wrong. And when you didn't deliver on something you said you were gonna deliver on, like there's consequences and like what are you gonna do about that? Otherwise,
totally.
we don't need to be here,
It
And
reminds me of,
again, like we
yeah.
don't need to be here is a very, very, very important thing. Like me and
Wow.
my girlfriend, we joke a lot about like when you see like a couple arguing in public or whatever, and
Hmm.
you're like, they both could just like walk away. They
He's
could just
out. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like how could you get to that point and want to continue being there? And obviously there's every relationship is different. Sometimes it's abuse, sometimes it's toxic, it's whatever,
exactly.
but like
Yeah,
but I think at the end of the day, it's like really being aware of like what do I want, what do I deserve, what do I need. And I think being in my 30s especially, it's like man, nobody has to, you should not be dealing or doing anything you don't actually want to have in your
right.
life. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to be there. There
People
are
don't
a
have
bunch of
that understanding of like freedom in their life,
mhm.
like so inherently. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It is
yeah.
something that you have to like work towards. But what you're saying reminds me a lot of like something my therapist brought up recently that I was like,
Hmm.
okay, she kind of snapped with that.
Yeah.
Where, well, first of all, just like the idea of like, when you're in an argument or whatever with someone, like there exists so many truths. I
Yeah.
really do believe that that is true. I think there are some truths that are like racist. It's like this is
Hmm.
true and racist.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there are truths. Where yeah, your reality might be slightly different than my reality when it comes to this one
Hmm.
situation. But my therapist said something recently where I was talking about why this or why that, or I think I was literally I have been talking about why pedophilia. I am sort of
Hmm.
like on an abolitionist curiosity tip. I'm like, I do know, and I'm not saying, why am I even getting into this? I'm not saying that I don't think those people like should go to jail or whatever. I'm just like,
Hmm.
jail's not going to solve pedophilia. I'm like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Also, they put Trump in jail. Congratulations, we're in a fascist state, and Trump is in jail. It's fine.
Hmm.
Like let's be
Hmm.
real. Let's be real. But I am like, why? Where does it come from? Why does it come from? Where I think there's abuse, but also where's the original sin?
Hmm.
Whatever, blah blah blah. We're talking about the
Hmm.
ideas of why, and like I'm constantly thinking about when it comes to myself, like why am I acting this way? Why did I say that this way or that
Hmm.
way? And like, very critical about it.
Yeah.
But she was like, a lot of people get hung up on the why when they really should be considering the what. And it's like, okay, so
Hmm.
what is going on here? And
Yeah.
what do you need to do to
Yeah.
change it? And usually
Yeah.
through working through the what, you find out the why, And I've been
Yeah.
thinking about that, where it's like, okay, we're having a miscommunication. What can we do to solve it?
Hmm.
When we figure that
Hmm.
out, then you'll probably get some other answers.
Hmm.
I've been thinking about
Hmm.
that so much, and it's also just like it's an action word. Why is a little bit of a wondering word? What
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like an
yeah, yeah.
action word?
Yeah. What are we gonna do? What do we want? Because yeah, I feel like I'm a very like solution oriented person. Like when there's a problem or anything, I'm like, okay, what's the solution? Like let's just move through it. But then, but I feel like for a long time it was coming at it from just like I guess like a robotic way of like it's like
Mm,
okay, here's a problem, let's fix it. Da, 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 but not
right.
going through the how did we get here. It's more so just like okay, what's the problem and what is gonna fix it, but not like yeah, the how is important because the how gets to the why. Like it's like, okay, well, here's the problem, here's how it ended up happening, here's why I feel this way, and
Yeah.
now this is what we're gonna do about it. Like it can't just be problem fixed.
And it's like it's that way in relationships and in
Mhm.
politics. And you know, it's
Exactly.
like the exact
Exactly.
same thing. And this is why, God damn it, we're changing the world every day with one podcast at a time.
I mean, when you said at the beginning, like love is politics, like just when you were breaking it all down, I was like, no, that's very, very that's actually no, that's great. And
It's
I
kind
think
of
it
how
is
I'm
something
bridging the
that
gap. It's
yeah.
like I've had this podcast since 2017, and it was definitely
Mhm.
about crushes and how I didn't
Yeah.
have a boyfriend and I wanted a
Yeah.
boyfriend. And it was that for a really long time. And then I wanted to abolish the police. And then I said, how do I have the podcast and do the same thing? And then I was like, wait, it
Yep.
because I really like the thesis is I'm like, okay, to get people to understand abolition and a different understanding of safety and justice, it is through relationships. That is actually
I
it.
mean, crushes
So
are the best, are so key because it's like I sorry if you were gonna say
no,
something.
no.
Okay. I've been saying lately, I don't understand. I think I don't understand adults with heroes. Like, I don't think you can be an adult and have a hero because that's basically a crush.
Mhm.
And a crush
Yeah,
is when you have a crush, you're not seeing someone, you're not seeing clearly.
clearly,
You're
exactly.
blinded. You're
Yes.
just infatuated and this and that. And a lot of people have crushes on the president, on the police,
This
on
is
like
why I think at
systems,
least
on
30% of them are just
America.
gay for him. Come on, let's be real. You know,
Exactly. It's like, nah, come on,
at the
y'all
very
just
least. Yeah.
he's so cool and he's so like you want to fuck this man. Like
When you have a man's voice as your ringtone, you're gay and you have a crush. You're gay and you have a crush.
exactly. Exactly.
I
You
don't
have a
under. There's no
crush.
other solution to me.
No.
I
And
think it's
and
true.
so
Yeah.
so it's like understanding crushes is a great way to understand society because it's all yeah, we're all just it's like figuring out what you're infatuated with, what you're going goo goo gaga about,
Right.
and yeah, what are you gonna yeah. So
And
no,
thank you
you're
for
on
also
you're
agreeing that I'm a genius. Thank you for validating this project. We're really smart.
Yes.
But I do think it's true. I think it's also like reflective of where you are to be in the
Mm,
relationship that you are in. That is,
mm.
one that is seemingly promoting of like growth and challenging each other and like not being complacent in whatever
Yeah.
dynamics need to be dealt with. So that's
Hmm.
incredible and very exciting. This we've
Thank
been
you.
literally talking for 1,000,000 years. I guess we should wrap up this
I remember you were
podcast.
like, I remember you joked and were like, all right, get ready for talk 4 hours. And now it's like
I did
four
joke,
hours
but
later.
then we kind of did talk. But I'm
I
so
am a
glad.
yapper.
I'm really such a fan. I've been wanting to have you
Thank
on.
you.
I like have been wanting to connect with you. I really believe in everything you're up to with Fuck Hollywood Productions. We'll do a whole other
Thank
episode where
you.
we just talk all about Hollywood because I've been getting into
So
it.
that's relationships too. So
That's whoo, and is it?
yeah.
And isn't it?
And a lot of people have a huge crush on Hollywood that they need to get over.
Exactly. And basically we're here to say that we can destroy it, correct? And actually there will be something
Mhm.
so much shinier and better on the other side, in my opinion.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even mention it. Nightmare on I was about to say Elm. Nightmare on Malcolm X Boulevard. Have you ever addressed publicly how people should refer to your other film that not everyone can say? Have you addressed it publicly? I give you the
The film.
opportunity.
I feel like I don't I feel like I don't know if I've been asked. I might have been asked like what are I think recently I think I might have talked about it like once, but I feel like yeah, for the most part I haven't really talked about like what other people should call it. I've said like I called it Super Nigga because I wanted to make a movie that white people can't say. But
Exactly. It is
but
very
yeah, I feel like
I watched it and it's incredible.
thank
Faust
you.
in
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, she's a star. I feel like
Totally.
yeah, I feel like when because that was a thing that came up in the beginning where people like, not in public, but just
Yeah.
collaborators or friends would ask like, "Well, what are white people supposed to call it? What are white people?" And I was always like, "Why are you thinking about white people? Why are you thinking about other people? Like, why
Yeah.
can't we just think about like who and this is sorry, this is a whole.
No.
I'll keep it short, but I feel
Mhm.
like this is it. Even goes into like what we're saying with politics or everything. It's like I think the problem with the world is that people are trying to reach everyone instead of going niche.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
it's like that's why it's so addictive because it's like your for you page is your for you page. It is
Yeah.
curated for you. You might have people that you follow who have like millions of followers and millions of views that I know absolutely
Sure.
nothing about.
It's
It's
true.
in that niche. And those people don't need me to have a career or anything. It's like they are
Right.
able to sustain themselves off of the community that is genuinely there for them. I
Yeah.
think so with Super Nigga, that's what I was like, I'm making this for
That's
black
not my
people that want to
priority.
see it and like non-black people who are culturally aware not to say the name and will come up with their own
Yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah.
like there's a film that I'm producing, a short film for another filmmaker, and it's called, and it's like it's my version. It's like her Super Nigga in a
Sure.
sense where it's like I can't necessarily say the name. It's like it's
Mhm.
called A Duel Between DYKES. I'm
Sure.
not, and I'm like,
You're like, I'm
I'm,
not putting that on no pod.
yeah. No, some people be like, you could say it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't, I feel like I've always been the kind of person where it's like, I don't even have the interest to say a word that's associated with
Yeah.
another group as a slur or anything. Like, so I got nigga,
Definitely
I got
saying it
mine.
because they've said it about me because I wore too many Doc Martens in my day. They said she had Martens. She doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Like,
you
we
know
know
what?
what you
Maybe
are.
a little bit. Just a little. How about that? Fuck you. Fuck you all these years later. Maybe a little.
Exactly.
Okay?
Maybe y'all were right, but you're not supposed to say it before I could
Just a
say it.
little.
Like,
Not all the way. Not all the
yeah,
way.
yeah,
But a
yeah.
little. A lot of things can be true. Okay?
There's a little there, you know. But
Yeah.
that's the thing for me where it's like I get so caught up in like thinking about the community that I'm genuinely focused on that I don't think about other people.
Well,
And
no,
I
I mean, and that's why I said it kind of as a joke also of
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I haven't seen you discuss this because that's not, because why
yeah,
would you discuss it? It's not like
yeah.
the
Like
thing.
yeah, and but it's always been funny because I remember like the person, like even the person who shot the film, she was like a white Jewish girl, and
Mhm.
I remember she I think was like probably the first non-black person that I was sharing the project with,
Mhm.
and we never there was never a conversation around like what she's supposed to call it.
Right,
She
right,
just
right.
automatically was like super. Yeah, so we're
Super,
working on
right.
super. We're
Yeah.
working on super. Okay, super, super, super. And like a lot of people that were like whether it was like my manager at the time or like just people that I knew who were not black would
Yeah.
just automatically just start referring to it as super or super N-word
Yeah.
or the movie, your
I was
film,
gonna say
like
you know what to me is very chic? The film.
the film,
We're
the
talking
film.
about the film today. You know? Welcome to a screening of the film.
The film, the film, the film,
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully by the
yeah.
time this comes, no, I'm like, by the time this comes out, all your fundraising needs are done. This podcast, no. This podcast is about to take
But
it over the edge. You don't know how
but you
famous
never
I am.
know.
Just kidding.
You never know what could happen with the internet. You never know what one clip from this
No, no,
video
no,
could
no, no, no,
go
no. And Daddy,
or
what I will say is like, I definitely know motherfuckers with money. And like, I don't
Mhm.
know them, but I'm like, you watch my Instagram story.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so cough it up. I mean, if not
But
for me right now, for anyone, I mean, I need some of your money as well, but
that's
they're
also
around. I worked in the West Village at a
Mhm.
barista as a barista. I know some fucking rich people. That's also kind of
Yeah.
why I had to get out of there because I'm like, all of these rich people will not give me money. What the hell?
Bro, I'd say I went to NYU. I remember like freshman year, like one time one of my friends was like we had to like we were getting groceries and cuz we were going to cook like
Hmm.
together all like with friends. I go to the ATM machine to get some money out. Well, no, we go to the ATM machine to get money out. She goes first,
I'm literally
puts her
scared.
card in, does the transaction and then doesn't exit out.
Oh, I'm
And
scared.
so I go up to put in my card and I'm like, oh shit, oh you didn't close the thing. And I accidentally saw her checking, either her checking or savings, and it was like $200,000. And I was just like, And mind you, I did not know much about NYU
What?
going into NYU, so I didn't also realize the reputation and
People.
like the class level that was
Look at me,
there.
I'm
I just
crying.
thought like, dude, I was like, I remember people were always just like, yo, like people are like rich over there, and then I saw it, I was like, what the hell?
Like even I knew you were gonna say a big number, but in my mind, I'm like, well, a big number is 3 digits. I'm like, it's just like maybe a few thousand.
No, no, hundreds. And and think about it, this is like a freshman in college with no job. So
There's
this is
no
just literally
way.
money
There's
your
no
parents
way.
just gave you.
Every time
This
I
isn't-
feel bad about where I am in my life, I have to remember this. I have to remember that I've
Dude.
made these people's lattes since I was 18, you know?
It's crazy. It's crazy. But now the thing is, like, it's like what you were saying about, like, again, going back to actionable, items and stuff and just acts. I feel like, and I know we keep wrapping it up, but I'll say this. I feel like it's like even with making this movie or being like, fuck Hollywood and everything, and really being like, all right, like, we're all complaining about the industry and how sucky it is and how like we get like just
Right.
crappy movies over and over again and we want to see original new voices. Well then,
What are we doing?
fund them. We got to do it. Like we the people have to do it, and it doesn't mean like every individual has to give like $1,000, whatever. It's like, hey, if you can put something in, put $1. If you can put 5, put 5. But if you are a person with $200,000 in your bank account,
Come on now.
you can even if you put 100 or 1,000,
It's like
or
sometimes I think about, like,
10,000. But
when sometimes I think, especially as someone who's been in the service industry my whole life, has not dined at a restaurant in a minute because I'm on. I have 15 days left of my unemployment. It's going down, and when I mean it's going down, and I'm like my life. No,
yep.
But like even just like you go to dinner, and you might just drop like 200 on you and a few people.
Yep.
And that's something that you consumed that will never exist again. Imagine to distribute that meal.
Again.
It'll never exist again. It'll come out your ass. That is what's going to happen. It will be.
I remember my brother. My brother worked at he did a job at the U.S. Open a few years ago, and he was like dealing with like the clients, like all the big brands and corporate people with their suites and stuff, and like he would see like the bills that they were paying for like the food, and it's like, bro, like tens of thousands just for like a day, just
even
and
the
for
way
food
I
that's
said,
not even touched.
Dude, and the way I even said $200 on a meal, that's not even like even that is so small. That's
Dude,
where my
that's
brain
like their
goes.
appetizer.
I'm like
That's
$200. That's so much money.
Dude, I know people. It's like, bro, you are going on vacation and spending like 10,000 or whatever. Like it is nothing for like that's thing for people like to help. Like there's one investor who is giving us a lot of money, like probably $30,000.
Okay.
And which I'm like so grateful for. And he is like just a rich black dude who's like, I don't need anything in return. Like you can literally have this money for the movie because I just believe in it. And I'm like, just knowing that someone like that can do that, I'm like, wow, all y'all are trash. Because
It's true.
And it doesn't mean that everyone needs to do it, but I'm just like, yeah,
but the fact that most people can. Most people can. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Because the thing is very rich people do not need that much money. Nobody needs that much money for themselves.
Especially you get to a certain level where it's like you're getting a lot, especially if you're someone with a level of status or, popularity. Like you're not even having to spend that money anymore. Like it's kind of
crazy
just
fallacy. The crazy thing of like rich people get sent free stuff more than like that kind of idea. I'm like, that makes me want to die. And it also like, especially in the culture or like the industry as it is right now, like film and TV, it really is starting to make me like dislike more and more some of these celebrities where, I mean, none of them are God to me. Right. But I'm just like, I don't know why this one is so sticking on me, the Oscar Isaac of it all. Oscar Isaac doing a season 2 of Beef, like a Netflix show. For some reason, him and Carey Mulligan, this is really pissing me off. I'm like, you guys really had to do Netflix's season 2 of Beef? You
Yeah,
need more money,
yeah,
Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think you're good. And
You
it's
got
just
that
like to
Star Wars
know
money still.
exact, and it's like, and this is from someone who does want to destroy it, right? Like, I do want to destroy it. I think we're on the same page of this,
Oh
and I
yeah,
don't,
abolitionists.
right. But I'm like, just the fact that I know that that role could have changed someone else's whole fucking life and their generational like wealth
Yeah, yeah,
or poverty,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's just excess, and I do think we need to start calling them out more. I think bullying needs to come to Hollywood actually, because I've been on my
Yeah.
pro like Hollywood strike or whatever. I'm like, fucking
Mhm.
stand for something, bitches.
Yeah.
They won't.
Yeah.
But I do think that the people could be like, you guys are lame. You guys are lame for funding ICE and genocide, and you guys actually suck for this, and
Literally.
it's lame that you took this job.
Literally.
So
Literally.
can we
Because I
start
mean,
that campaign? Calling people
that's the
lame?
thing. I mean, fuck Hollywood Productions. I
Exactly,
feel like
exactly.
people don't people don't realize their power, it's like,
Yeah.
and that's the big thing at the end of the day. It's like individuals don't on a regular basis realize how much power influence they have. I always say, like, it's like even the Kickstarter for my film, it's at
Mhm.
like $59,550, and that's from 606 people.
Crazy.
If I was to just say I need to raise that money, I would think that it's going to require 50,000 people to donate or whatever. It's like, I would think I need like a
Yeah,
thousand, 10,000, whatever. But like, it's really a small number of people can make a very big difference.
totally.
And, um, and like with Hollywood, it's like at the end of the day, we the people are the ones upholding that system. It's not
Exactly.
the billionaires, it's not this, it's
No.
it's you. It's like you're watching, you're buying it.
And the
They're just putting
last
the money in
time,
to make it.
and here's the thing, and it's the last time we'll bring up the Epstein files, but it's like, do you need them to explain to you even more that you are bodies to
Yep,
them?
yep,
Okay, they showed
yep,
you it's the same as fucking slavery.
yep,
It's the same
yep.
as your fucking mind. You are making them
Mhm.
run, and they
Yeah.
know it, and they know it.
And that's where it goes.
Hello.
It connects to what you were saying of like, okay, what? So you want to put Trump in prison or whatever? Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that then goes against our whole abolitionist conversation around like, fuck the police, fuck prison industrial complex.
Yes.
But what you can do is, I think the real thing is just, I was gonna say mass accountability to the point where it's like,
Yeah.
if we feel like, okay, we see the Epstein list and we don't like the people on it, we think that they're guilty and this and that.
Mhm.
You don't need the government to create consequences. We the people can create consequences, which is like,
100%.
we're not buying into this person, we're not funding their career, we're not doing this and that. All you got to do is literally,
Dude, the moment that we decide to stop charging each other for the goods and services that we actually need, and we just start giving each other shit for free, and we stop buying into this. I mean, I know it's a very simplistic,
yeah,
idea, but like that's kind of the point. The point is that it's very simple to just
yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Just like it's very simple for us to never pay for our student loans.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
it could be
yeah.
it could all be so simple.
It could, but that's where it's like, I'm sorry. I feel like
No,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
have to
no.
cut me off at some point because I'm just gonna be like, yes, and then, and because I'm a yes and person.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when I talk a lot about that, about like people supporting each other, and especially like, I went through, still in a tough financial period of like getting re, get re re getting stability, regaining
Hmm.
stability,
Hmm.
and doing way better now than I was like the last 2 years, but
Yeah.
like still figuring it out. But that was like a period of like, that really opened my eyes up to like mutual aid, going back to what your friend's mom
Hmm.
now understands. Like
Hmm.
I remember, because I think the first time that I even thought of like asking for help publicly was like, I saw a friend who was like, oh, I saw a friend who was like, I need to, they needed to get like a air conditioning unit or something. And they were just trying to raise like 50 or $90, whatever. They were like, if
Yeah.
it can, like a few people just send me like $5 or $10. And I was like, oh yeah, here, sure. I sent the money. And then in a few hours, they had the money, we're able to buy an air conditioner, and it was like a hot ass gross day,
Yeah.
like heat wave type shit. And I was like, oh wow. And so and then I remember like, okay, eventually when it got to the point where like I needed help with like my housing and stuff, and I was like,
Mhm.
I've tried everything. I've been applying for jobs, nothing's working. I need to ask, and like literally put up a GoFundMe trying to raise back rent. And I remember like people, the backfire, where people are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? You're
Oh
gonna
my
ask for help?
God.
You beggar!" This and like literally
It's
like
just,
just
you
the
know that
shame
people
that
didn't kill the cop and the colonizer in their fucking
no,
mind when they're like,
exactly.
you
Like,
dumbass for
just
being
go
poor.
get a job. Get a job. And I'm
Exactly.
like, I've literally been trying for like the last few years. And like
Yeah.
I'm a very like qualified person. Like I have
Totally.
crazy experiences and like, a great track record, but I can't get a job. And there's a lot of people that can't.
Yeah.
And
You're looking
so
at one
ju-
right
exactly. Like,
now.
and it's like, and also even a lot of the people that were in the comments saying that kind of stuff, I'm like,
Bro, you're
you're
broke.
also in the same position.
That's
Yes.
the saddest
And
thing. Yeah.
everyone is broke, but everyone's holding on to this American dream mentality of like, we got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps when it's like,
Mhm.
dog, we can actually all support each other. We have enough to help each other, but we're in this scarcity mindset of like, well, I can't give you a dollar because I need a dollar. And if I give you a dollar, then I won't have a dollar. But it's like,
Totally.
well, actually, there is if we can restructure our society, which sounds crazy, which sounds like a bigger thing than it actually is. But if you
It
can
really isn't.
restructure
Yeah.
ways and restructure the ways that we like consume things or like support one another, there are ways to actually make sure that everyone has what they need. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean like everyone has excess, but even just the basic needs to survive,
No, I
we
mean,
can have it.
when I started to really understand and learn abolition, it was hand in hand with the idea of abundance. Like the
Yep.
whole shit was imagining a world of abundance. That remains the goal. And it is,
Hmm.
and it's funny, I went to I can't remember if I've talked about this on the show before, but like my very good friend who is, like also taught me so much about
Hmm.
like abolition.
Hmm.
Um, she's like from Alaska, and I went to Alaska like a couple Augusts ago with my family, and she's such a like, as an abolitionist, it's very just like in her blood and bones, and like you can just tell it's not an effort, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
she has an understanding of abundance, like mindset, like
Hmm.
nobody else I know. And when I went to Alaska, I was like, oh yeah, it's because it's all around you. Like if
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
abundance, like this is a place we could live off this fucking land. We could have
yeah,
salmon and pick our blueberries, and
yeah.
like there's and that is like, I wish people could understand on like a practical level too. Like, yeah, it sounds like a woo woo, like nice idea. Imagine a world in abundance. It's like, no, literally look around you. The world is abundant.
Hmm.
The only thing that has halted that abundance is what has privatized it, and
Yeah.
what is the government. It's like, we'll
It's
be all
greed.
right. Hello. We'll be
Yeah.
okay.
It's all greed at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
greed, 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 greed. Because I'm like, in the times where I've been like in the time, I remember there was like a while where I was like hosting this show on Snapchat, which was like paying me crazy money, which I
What a
was like
time.
surprised. What a time, and I was making like really good money like monthly. That's like probably the
Getting
one
that
time where I
Snapchat.
almost felt like an influencer.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the like it's like every time I was getting paid, it was like I would be scrolling through Instagram, and as soon as I see like someone have a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or anything, I'm like, oh yeah, here's $100, here's $500, here what like because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't need all this money. And I always say like
And you're
part of
not
why
so
I'm broke
scared of
even
what's
is
going to happen necessarily if you don't have it.
yes,
But that's when the
yes,
joy comes in. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Because I say like a big part of like I'm this is even like at this period of life just being being better about finances, but like
Mm.
part of what had fucked up my finances was it's just like just being like, yeah, I'm helping everyone, like out here, just take this
Yeah.
money, like I don't need it, whatever. And then I'm
Yeah.
also just like, all right, I'll take care of myself. But like I literally was like, I don't even we don't have to be best friends or anything, but if I just see that someone is in need of something and I have it and it
Yeah.
costs me nothing, like we've communicated, I know that you're not just scamming people.
Right.
Here, take it. I have what you need. Here,
Right.
have
And
it.
even if you're
Like
scamming people, you're probably scamming people because you're broke. Like
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the
It's
idea
all
about
for a
crime.
reason.
Usually, it's for a reason. You don't just
Yep,
wake
you're
up one
trying to
day
survive.
and say, you know what, I'm gonna fuck some people over. Actually,
Exactly. You're trying to survive. So that's where it's just like people, yeah, people need to get over that mindset and like
yeah.
come to an abundance mindset because there literally is enough for all of us to
And it's
have
not
what
even
we
like an
need.
idea. It's like literally
No.
on a statistical level, there's more vacant buildings. And I mean, I remember when I was doing this work in New York, like I used to have the numbers quick, but like
Hmm.
something like 87,000 vacant buildings in New York, while there are like,
Yep.
less than that
All
need
these people, yeah,
housing,
exactly.
it's literally all
It's all
there.
there.
Oh, wow. We every episode I walk away and I say, we solved something. We solved something. Okay. We're getting
Something
closer and closer. Okay.
something
I
has
guess we
been
will wrap
fixed.
out. Maybe I'll put this out as a two-parter because it's like nothing is cuttable. We're kind of really like on, like people actually maybe need to hear
We're
this.
tapped in. We're tapped
We're
in.
tapped in. So yeah, please throw out what you would like to plug. I mean, fuck Hollywood Productions. Obviously, let's get that movie made. Um,
Yeah.
anything else you want to say before we wrap up? And then we start talking for one more hour.
It's, it's really just I guess yeah, A Nightmare on Malcolm X Boulevard is the feature film that I'm working towards making.
Yes.
We've raised $59,550. The goal is to get to
We're just gonna get
200
200,000 more. Come on.
200,000. Even if we just get to
We just
200,000,
need
if we
that
can
one
get
girl from NYU.
140,000.
Where is
Come on.
she?
Come on, where is
Come
she?
on,
She
girl.
literally has it. She be looking at my stories, and I'm like,
Sitting there. It's
I'm
sitting
waiting
there.
for you. I've sent it to her. I've sent it to. There's, sorry, because I get a lot of celebrities and stuff who like interact with my stuff now, and they're always like, "Oh, I love the
I'm sure
great
that must
Kickstarter, great campaign,"
make you
and I'm
insane.
like, "Dude, all you have to do is either donate or even just share it." Even just share it. And
No.
that's what I always tell people. It's like share it. Like if anyone's listening, share the Kickstarter. Like you do not have to donate
Yeah.
because
That's what I've
it's
done because
like
I've
with
known that I can't donate because I'm on
come
unemployment. I
on.
literally don't got it, but I have
And like
shared it. I don't know
and
if it's
that
resulted
means a
in
lot to
anybody,
me.
but
That means a lot to me because it's like people think if they can't put $1,000 in, then they
right.
can't do nothing. I'm like, dude, every time I see someone put $1 in, it makes me happy because I'm like, wow, you really believe in this
You
like
really
this, and
do.
that's stuff that we can show to other people. If 1,000 people gave $1, that's 1,000 people, $1,000. Like my videos get hundreds of thousands of views on
Every
a
person did
regular.
$1.
Literally,
I
that's
know.
a literal grassroots movement. Like we
It's
don't
true.
need, and that's also how you remove the whole.
We gotta go Zoran mode on Daddy's movie, okay?
That's
We gotta go
that's what
Zoran
I've
mode
been
on Malcolm,
saying.
Nightmare on Malcolm X Boulevard,
That's what I've
okay?
been saying. Literally, we got to go Zoran because it's like if you can get, when you also get like an actual grass. And sorry, I'm gonna wrap it up for sure.
No, you're
But like
good.
when you can get like if more movies are created through a grassroots movement, that's also how
Yeah,
the audience gets exactly what they want and they trust the artist. So they're literally like, here's the money, go
yeah,
make the thing. I love what you make, go make it. I'm not here to get in the way.
yeah.
Versus when an investor is giving you like most investors are not like the one dude who I said is giving us all that money. Most are like, all right, you want this much? Well, here's what I need in return.
Right.
Here's how much you got to make. I need this change and this and
And also, we don't
that.
like how they said that, and that kind of conflicts
Ex-
with this. So good that you could get
exactly.
that reference out of there. We're
Yep.
actually a parent
Yep.
company for them, so
Yep. Exactly. And we don't
yeah.
want to offend conservatives. We don't want to offend racists.
Jesus,
So it's
yeah.
like, but we know you're talking about racism, but we don't want to offend the racist. So so that's why for me, I'm like, I believe
Fuck
in
Hollywood.
going this route. Yeah. Grassroots cinema where it's like, let's make what we want to make. It doesn't have to be made on a $50 million budget. We can really, really make it on a low level while still delivering quality. and still being true to the movie. And then the movie doesn't have to make $50 billion. It's like
Right.
the audience paid for it. Here it is. Have it, you
Like,
know?
it's like abolition versus reform. It's like you cannot reform what's going down with
Mm-mm.
Hollywood, but you can
Mm-mm.
create abundance
Yes.
elsewhere, you know?
Yes, because we keep saying that like people are always like Hollywood's broken, it's broken, it's broken, and I'm like, no, Hollywood is doing exactly what it
Literally
needs
the
to be
same as the
doing.
police, actually.
Exactly. This is not broken. It's
Yeah.
exactly what it needs to be. So like you can like how we did like how with Zoran, like people elected someone who was not coming from the traditional system, the traditional two parties. Like I mean he is a Democrat, but like, you know,
Mm,
okay, Democrat socialist, whatever.
sure,
But
sure.
like at least someone who's being put in power by the people, not by these super PACs or whatever.
Not by an entity that is
Exactly, you
also
know.
killing people everywhere.
Exactly. So when people chose that, now it's like every day in New York feels like, oh my God, wow, the mayor just did something nice. Oh my God, the mayor just did something nice. And it's like, see what's possible when you look outside of the traditional systems. So
Yep.
same with Hollywood.
Yep.
When the audience starts to reclaim their power and be like, we don't want Jurassic Park 27. We want
Oh,
to
we
see
don't.
this filmmaker make something new.
Yeah.
Then that's how the change comes. So literally, that's why I say to people like donate $1 or share the Kickstarter, like amplify the message, amplify the project.
Please
Optics are
do it.
everything.
If you guys were wondering what the call to action of this episode was, you've just heard it. It's this. It's challenge.
Come on.
It's kill the cop in your mind and the colonizer in your
Yep.
mind, and donate to the damn Kickstarter and freaking share
Yeah.
it because they're actually one and the damn
Yes.
same, actually.
Come
And
on.
not to mention Black History Month. Okay.
Come on. Trying to fund this by the end of the month.
Come on. Can we? Can we please? Actually, I no, we can't get into another subject, but I am sort of like, I'm going to keep my eye on all these people. Just include Black people, like not in Black History Month is my also call to action. Cause I'm just sort of like when March comes around, I wonder what's gonna, how everyone's going now. Cause I actually, my last guess will have been white. I literally didn't like, I thought about it for like 1 second and then I was like, it is actually so corny to have only Black people on Black History Month. And actually,
yeah, because then it's like
red
the
flag
rest of the year, what are you doing?
nation. Yeah. and but I mean, I used to work at a talent agency, and we'll talk about more of this off mic. I was in the mailroom, and I'll never forget their first their Black History Month like initiative, which was just every week this month we're gonna send a list of our Black clients that you should consider for projects. So you weren't considering them for projects before?
Nope.
You got to push.
Nope.
We're saying push for these Black clients that we have only some of extra hard this month, guys.
That's the thing. When people do that kind of stuff,
Kill me.
all you're doing is showing what your norm is.
Literally.
It's like you're not fixing anything. Like, okay, we're gonna put queer people during like Pride. We're gonna have like women during March.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and the rest of the year, like, what are you doing? And then even within that
regularly
kind of stuff,
scheduled
it's like,
racism.
yeah, because it's like even within that kind of stuff, it's like you're still not fixing it because okay, like you can have a lineup for like with comedy. It's like okay, during Women's History Month, people are like we're gonna have an all female lineup, but are you having a diverse group of women, or is it just it's all white women, or like okay, like all Black people, like but is it all Black men? Is it Black? Is it you have queer Black people, you have trans Black people, you got Black women, you got this, whatever.
Get intersectional, bitches. Like, don't be boring. Get intersectional. Let's say it's actually boring to not be intersectional. Ew, yawn.
Exactly, but that's why it can't just be like, oh, we're doing this for this month or this week, because then it's like you're just hyper focusing and you're trying to correct the whole evil, and you're gonna make mistakes. As opposed to if every day you're just like, I have a diverse life. Then I don't have to do anything because it's like I was running a comedy club last year, and every lineup people were like, whoa, I love how diverse the lineups are. Wow, you have like, because like every week it's like we got a trans person, we got a Black person, we got a woman, we got this, like all the, and it's like every single show has different levels of diversity, and it's not, and none of it was done with the mindset of like, okay, we need, let's get a Black person, yeah, exactly. It's like outside of this show, I'm hanging with this diverse group of people. So it's
Yeah.
gonna show up in my work. It's gonna show up in the things that I do. So if you want to make a change in the world, again, this goes back to everything we've been saying. If you want to make a change in the world, then you got to start at the smallest level of your life.
You bitch.
Otherwise,
You baby.
yeah,
It
exactly.
all comes
So
down to you in the end.
look in the mirror.
Look. And now we're looking at the man in the mirror, and I put the song. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has
Thank
been
you.
literally a magnum opus. I'm so excited to see what happens next. This will be not even the beginning. This isn't the beginning. We're in the meteoric rise. You know, we're in the rising action of the story of Daddy and the domination of the industry. I will say, I look around LA, I say very white. This is also a problem. Okay, and I won't get into another problem. And yeah, I think we've done it. I think we're gonna wrap it up now. Plug
Yep.
your Instagram is just
Director
Director
Daddy.
Daddy,
Yes.
and
Director Daddy.
you'll find everything that you need there.
Everything's there. Fuck Hollywood Productions, A Nightmare on Malcolm X Boulevard, Super Nigga. It's all there. Director Daddy everywhere.
The end. Bye.